Hello. Welcome to the game. How was your day today? Or your week? Talk about either. Day, week, whatever it is. How was yours, Cell? Your hair's awfully green.
I mean, it's been green for a couple weeks now.
It feels like it's like color shifted though.
Yeah, it has a lot. So it's gotten...
You weren't here last week. That's why. It's been 2 weeks. That's why. That's a big time for colored hair.
Yeah. Internet's working now. I'm very happy. I missed last week.
What was wrong with it?
Heck if I know. I don't understand how it works most of the time. I understand how like connect the computers work. That's about it.
What are you going to college for? I'm just...
computer science, not internet. Okay. Not how the internet works and how the modem works.
Gotcha. Sure.
I'm not here to be scrutinized, okay?
Are you sure? Because I feel like Jake, why is he here?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Oh, okay. All right. Jake, how was your weekend stuff? Did your internet work the whole time?
Yeah, it did.
Must be nice not to live in a third world country. Sorry, he lives in the South. They have some pretty draconian laws down there.
Self-head.
Yeah. So we've all heard. Doesn't matter what nation you're in. America's laws are on everybody's news stations. It's pretty sad. But anyways, hi. How's your week, Jake? Anything exciting happening?
No, but I had like a terrible sleep last night. You know those ones where you go to sleep but you wake up like every 10, 15 minutes until you get up? Yeah, so I'm annoyed.
It's like the curse of eternal waking sort of a thing. Like, God damn it. Yeah, you like, should I get up? No, I'm going to try to sleep. Fuck. Should I get up? No, I'm going to try to sleep.
Yeah.
And then you've done nothing productive and you're miserable.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Now you understand Nick.
No, that's just like that miserableness is just reflecting on life decisions. If I can't sleep, I just eat some edibles. Out.
Well, those aren't legal in my state.
Draconian.
Again, draconian in the South. Enjoy.
Hey, I think it's in. I think they're talking about it in the state legislature. So,
well, the tobacco companies need a hard pivot. So,
tobacco companies in my state, they're totally not influential. I actually have no idea.
I mean, I imagine they are.
There is tobacco farms outside of my high school.
Yeah. I mean, again, I imagine they are. They don't have the teeth that they used to, but I imagine they still very much are. So we always have to remember it was Philip Morris that created, what was it, Truth? Was it truth.com or .org or whatever that Philip Morris created? It's like the company that owns Marlboro was the one that opened the organization that was supposed to teach you all about how bad smoking was and promoted the patch. Oh yeah, and they also created the patch. So they would promote smoking as being cool to get people smoking when they were young, and then instill into you this idea that you're a terrible person for smoking. You need to constantly quit by using the patch and the gum, and then also give you cigarettes when you go back on it. And it was just like a cycle of making money off of you until you die of cancer. And they're like, all right, next, But,
yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah, So what are you gonna do? Mind you, in Massachusetts, all we have is the Tea Party. It's a bad thing to be known for. We've done nothing wrong ever. Now that we all believe that, let's move on. I actually had a really good day today. It required me to take a nap, to which Brittany woke me up at 9:01 or 9 or whatever it was. After getting up and going into work super early to make sure I can get out early, Rory graduated preschool today, and she had her first martial arts lesson, to which I won't lie, I did not realize she was that good at. I have never. How did Brittany put it? She says after we were like telling her how awesome she did. Brittany was like, I have never seen you show that much passion about anything in your life ever. Like, or something along those lines. Like, it was one of those she was doing like squat thrusts and shit like that, because it was like a one-on-one lesson with the instructor to make sure she would be would fit into the thing. And we were like, is that our daughter? Like, what is this? Like everything was like so. It was. I mean, it's a fucking 5-year-old, so it's not exactly like she was breaking boards, but it was just genuinely. Oh, thanks, Steve. It was genuinely surprised. Like, oh my god, it was amazing. I was like, holy shit! And she's like, so after it ended, we then stuck around for 45 minutes to watch the next class because she wanted to watch other people to do the class, and then we go out to dinner to like celebrate the graduation thing, and she's like, can we do like videos and stuff for this too? Can I go again later today? And we're like, we have class tomorrow. She's like, can it be tomorrow? And we're like, whoa, this is crazy. Soccer was always do I have to go to soccer in 5 days? Do I have to go to soccer in 4 days? Like, you get the point. I don't know. You're welcome for the dad story.
That's good. No,
Yeah.
I did taekwondo when I was young.
Yeah.
I stopped doing it when I was young too. So
Yeah, same. I did it when I was young, stopped when I was young. So, but it was pretty cool. I don't know. Very happy. Did you guys do martial arts as kids? Nick, I don't remember. Did you?
Briefly, but no. I mean, we just beat the shit out of each other. That was it.
Yeah, that's different. But I mean, proper martial arts.
No.
No. Oh. How about you, Jake? Did you ever put on a belt?
I like started karate as a kid, and it lasted like maybe a month, and I was like, nah.
Oh.
Nah.
I did it for a few years, and I did lots of push-ups on rice. So you know.
I think I did it for like a
ADHD.
year and a half or something like that. I think I got like yellow belt, which is not very high. It's like white then yellow, I think. So
It depends on the school. So like a lot of American martial arts schools, they have like 75 belts. So it's like white, then yellow, then green, then blue, then purple, then brown, then magenta, then pink, then orange, then red, then brown again, then black, but then like 17 degrees of black. So whereas like old school is like 5 belts and that was it.
I think for ours it was like you have a white belt and then you have to get 3 yellow like tapes on it, right? So like 3 degrees.
Oh.
Then you get to yellow, and then you get 3 degrees of green.
Yep.
And then you go up.
Same thing, but we didn't have a green. Yep. Same thing. Yep. Same idea. It was the traditional white, yellow, red, brown, black. But you had to get the degrees of tape on there. Yeah.
I think it was green then red, brown, but it's like, oh my god, I was like maybe like 8. So
I mean, yeah, I was about that age. Like I said, I did it for a few years. My dad, the one I grew up with, and my older brother, they actually did like tournaments and stuff like that for like a long time. So it was funny too because like because of the school that we were in, it didn't matter what belt you were to go into tournaments. So like you could be, as long as you were a yellow belt, you can go into sparring tournaments. You would just go against other yellow belts in the sparring tournament, but it was full contact. So like my dad was a yellow belt and would come home with like bruises and shit like that. My Gary was a red belt and came home with a huge black eye and shit like that before. And because it wasn't like you have to wait to be a black belt to do that shit. It was like, no. It was from yellow belt on, it was full contact sparring, but you had like headgear, bodysuit, the hand guards, all that shit, because it was supposed to be learning, not beat the shit out of each other. You know what I mean? But yeah. So I don't know.
I went to I think it was like a couple of Muay Thai training sessions, and I was holding the bags, and the dude that was kicking it, I swear my arm was breaking through the bag. It fucking hurt.
Yeah. Muay Thai too. How tall was the person? Like, if you had to guess, tall? Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Because Muay Thai is like 8-point striking, right? Muay Thai, I'm not confusing it. Muay Thai is like elbows, knees, fists, and feet. Yeah, Muay Thai.
So tall is like 5'8", Jake?
That's how tall I am. All right, so.
Okay.
Oh, you're so tall, buddy. Oh, Jake, you're a big boy.
Look, 5'8" on a good day, I'll say. All right.
You wearing boots? Is that what it is? You wearing boots today?
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I do. I wear my Timbs if I want to be 6 feet tall.
Oh wait, is that how you get to be 5'10"?
No. All right. Anyways, so yeah, let's
Once more with feeling.
yeah, let's go. Let's get this started. So I'm actually excited because I'm finishing up this round of Kingdom Dice. Kingdom Rules, which we had done. The first one in the line is Jake, I believe, right?
No, I'm the last. So we should.
Yeah,
That's right.
it's
So we
me.
did Nick last
say,
week.
right?
We did Nick last week. I couldn't remember who you did last week.
We did me last week.
Yep.
I finished it up.
Oh yeah. So that's right. We're doing one more round of Kingdom Rules, and then I actually thought there was only 2 left instead of 3. But one more round of Kingdom Rules, and then I'm gonna you're gonna start to see almost like a phase shift or a transition for the campaign as we start to bring things down more to the personal level as we start to handle other fun stuffs, allowing the kingdom to stuff to kind of happen more and more in the background. Because the big thing of what we wanted to do early in the campaign, I don't know what you want to call it, like 17 sessions early, but big thing you want to do early in the campaign is really get a foundation of like how the kingdom is established, how they're pushing themselves forward, But now it's like we know a lot about the kingdom. We know a lot about some of the advisors. We know a bit about the characters. But we want to really start seeing the characters kind of interconnect and how it is they approach things and so on and so forth, more than just like, oh, I did a good kingdom roll. Yay! You know what I mean? For you PCs, Jake and Cell, I think you guys already have a full heads up. And Nick, I could totally toss you those videos so you can see them as well. But I don't know how much you'll enjoy them. It's mostly me just slipping deeper and deeper into the path of insanity. But all of your advisors have actually had some pretty serious upgrades this last session and this session. So before these two, as they all received their Patreon upgrades from April, May, and June. Those upgrades include boons, items, and a level up. Level up happened for June. So you'll notice that your characters have definitely increased in level. So you'll see that power to happen there. That may have been already there last week. But the items that they get, most of those items are actually kind of iconic to the character or have a story to them, something that's significant to their background, and provide some minor benefits that isn't necessarily a powerful benefits to them as a leader or a kingdom role, but helps to them as a person. So for instance, Nick, for you, Tonscreet has this cloth that they often wear around their wrist that has oils of an alpha female commatory. Kind of rubbed into it, and uses that when making wild empathy checks as a ranger against other commatory. It gives a bonus for doing that. So it's a very narrow kind of ability. But if you have Tonscreet with you on a task and there's commatory there, and you're I have an opportunity to maybe gather some new stock for my people, that's a fucking awesome item to have. That +2 or 3 or whatever it is awesome. But then the boons, and this is a huge thing, and you should definitely look at the boons that your characters have on them. When you open up the character sheet of your advisors, specifically the Patreon supported ones, and you go to the additional tab or whatever it is, and you go to where their powers are, down on the bottom right-hand side, you see something called advisor abilities. This is where those start getting tacked on. So another example is Tonscreet has the ability to make and Nick, I'm pulling from the idea of Eberron here, mage-bred animals once every 6 months. So you can have them actually make you a mage-bred commatory to be your new commatory, allowing you to retire Naren. Sorry, you are Naren. Nabu. To retire Nabu, put Nabu in the backgrounds, turn Nabu into a breeding one, so on and so forth. But the idea is it's once every 6 months because it's not that it's a well-bred commatory. It's that he trains them so well they have these effects, and he can only do so once every 6 months, assuming it takes about 6 months for one to go from being recently hatched to capable of being ridden. And that's why it has that kind of a cooldown. And then you have some all sorts of different ones on there, some that might seem a little strange, for instance, what's your counselor's name there, Cell?
Gorza.
Thank you. So Gorza has a hog familiar. And that hog familiar is for now. Hog familiar. And it actually has the ability to consume magic items and store them within its gut to later on be released as needed. But while they're inside their gut, they cannot be detected. It's a pretty friggin' weird and out there ability. But I'm sure as PCs or viewers of this thing or players of video games, or whatever it might be, we can all think of times where it's actually that would have been really useful. And so the idea is to give these characters abilities to really exemplify either who they are as in their kingdom role, or to play up kind of who they are as people, and it's their focuses are. So this is kind of for her to play up like her magical natured familiar or whatever. By the way, it might not continue to be a hog. I'm still really, I did tons of research recently, but I'm still trying to decide between a hog and another one. It depends on what path I'm going to go down for something, but I'll explain later.
What's the other one?
I'm not going to tell you. You'll see when the video gets released, which will be released probably in the next week. So I just have to decide which one I'm doing and then create it. So, and I'll explain why it became such a thing afterwards.
Yeah, I remember you complaining about it in chat. So
I did a lot of research for that several months ago, but then you snooze, you lose, and now that's what put me in the pickle that I'm in. But I'll explain some other time. So, anyways,
I got a question before we do anything.
Sure. Talk over Let's go.
I will. Thank you. I have a meeting to call between all of us. Do you want me to wait and just do
no? I think
first?
I think the early meeting call is important because we have to kind of assume that meeting that you wanted to call happened prior to what happened last week, because you wanted that meeting prior to last week, correct?
I wanted that meeting last week.
Correct. So prior to your kingdom rolls. So we're gonna have to kind of like erase in our minds what happened during your kingdom rolls, and then have you guys meet for that. Okay. Does that make sense?
okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I follow.
So yeah, it'll be like. Am
I full HP?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you were pretty beat to shit.
We have adepts in the court which can cast Cure Light Wounds, so I assume I can get healed up.
Whoa. Adepts might have on the spell list for the class Cure Light Wounds, but the ability to cast that spell is certainly something. I didn't even give that ability to Ryan. And he's a doctor, damn it.
Would you not say my priest lady, the leader of my holy order, would not have Cure Light Wounds?
I'm sorry, what's her name?
She's a Sertri Singfer. She's a level 2 adept. You told me to make her for the Order of Tanzo.
Maybe she doesn't have Cure Light Wounds. Maybe she has Scarify instead.
That made making no sense because she's from my clan.
Scarify.
We don't Scarify people in this clan. We're not slavers, goddammit.
No. Scarify takes lethal damage and turns it into non-lethal, which heals per hour instead of per day. So
if you want that instead, that works too. But how many days has it been? I don't know what I heal today.
The idea is you have to remember you want things to feel low magic, and somebody being able to go Jesus touch isn't very low magic, right?
Okay.
So you don't really want a lot of magical healing about. Yeah, I agree. Scarify is definitely a Densho.
What does Scarify do?
Scarify is definitely a Densho thing.
Yeah, I don't know what it does.
Scarify converts lethal damage to non-lethal, and you heal non-lethal damage at the rate of 1 HP per level per hour instead of 1 HP per level per day.
Okay, just how many days has it been so I can know how much HP I get back just from like normal healing?
Yeah, I can imagine from when you call that meeting, let's just say it's been a solid 5 days till he calls it, and then you probably meet at. Would you guys meet at Densho, I imagine?
If he calls the meeting?
No, I'm calling the meeting at Vosk.
Oh, I gotta go
at Vosk. Okay, so plus another 2 days of travel for you, Sel?
Sure.
So 7 days, and so you can assume that 5 plus 2, 7. Would your character have done full days of rest or no?
No, it wouldn't make sense for a leader to do full days of rest.
So then, if you assume 1 surgery to be done plus that, 5. So 7 times. What level are you?
6.
So 7 times 6 is how much health you would heal normally, anyways. Does that get you up to full?
7 times
42,
6.
Right?
Yeah, that's I'm yeah, I'm good.
Okay, cool.
I was down 25, so.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, so let's so like I said, this session, if we could smash through both kingdom rolls, it'd be amazing. This session, as well as a little bit extra, would be awesome too, because then we're gonna start really pulling it into the more personal scale stuff. To have more fun with that, so every couple of sessions we can do like a kingdom roll and then personal stuff, or based off of, I should say, how many days actually pass in games. Really, how we do it. So let's get to you calling that meeting in Vosk. So since you're the one calling the meeting, Densho, specifically Varix, if you're the one calling the meeting, Warlord Varix, where would you have that meeting take place in? Oh, I suppose we haven't really defined all the buildings or whatever there. But what kind of setting do you want it to be? We did discuss that there was a meeting hall there before. Would it be there?
Yeah, it'd be the meeting hall.
Oh, and
where we had the more or less takeover.
And what would the almost like expectation be of who's coming to this meeting?
It's the warlords.
So
Just
just
the
the
warlords?
warlords.
Yep.
No.
I mean, they can bring an entourage if they want to, but the meeting that I'm calling is for the three of us.
Yeah, makes sense. I follow.
So then I'm going to ask: does anybody bring an entourage?
Shit's kind of whack back at home. No, I think I leave everyone. There's a lot of business to do.
It's business time. I get that.
Yeah, I mean, there's just the assassination on my life. Preparations for the land near the volcanoes. You know.
Nick.
I'll have Hoko with me since he's already there.
Oh yeah, well yeah. And which makes sense because Hoko is I forget what positions does Hoko have there? He's the general, I think, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, he's not the leader. I think he went as the general. All right, and
I haven't assigned Roderick a leadership position. Like he's left my thing, but I haven't just like you never talked to me about where he should go.
and that's fine. We can worry about that afterwards because that's not important for this moment. But what I would say is that you did move him on your sheet though, right? I'm trying to pull that up right now. So
Yeah,
on
you
Jake's
did.
Kingdom, he's currently at. I'm loading right now. It's just taking 10 seconds, and yep, he was moved. Cool. All right, awesome. So you want to do it inside that meeting hall, Jake? You want to kind of like set the scene, and I also imagine Roderick and Hoko are there. And so you're definitely not bringing anybody.
No, it's kind of busy, so.
Okay.
All right, so Varix would obviously be there first, and would welcome them both in. Welcome, warlords. I have called us together because I think it is time that we lay out our future. We are integral to one another's growth and increase our chance and our clan's survivability. Warlord Naren, my daughter Tora, has informed me of Tonscreet's what do they call it? Objections or whatever. So I've been wanting for some time to make things clear. If none of you respond, he'll say, there'll be a map like laid out of Kijinxi on the table. And he'll point and he'll say,
I'm gonna pull up the map for viewers because you're doing the map out. Give me 1 second for you guys.
I guess to also just note, you two'd probably notice Tessel has like burn marks on his like left side.
Yeah, I might want to address that first.
Tessel doesn't really isn't worried about it at the moment. He'll address it later, unless someone speaks up.
Yeah,
I won't address that.
all right, cool. Assumes it's a kink.
Yeah, he'll pull out a map, not a map. There's a map already on the table, sorry. And he'll point towards Densha. All our clans are clearly marked on what territory we hold. And he'll just say, for the future, the lands I've taken in Kijinxi, I've taken for farmland, due to the fact that I will soon be making a push into the barren lands, and I need to sustain my armies on their way. My apologies, Warlord Naren. I should have discussed with you before building so close to your territory. I have no ill will, but all the same, I apologize.
It's understandable, and I understand the motivation and the need. Tonscreet was more concerned of having an entity within a day's march of our capital, which is a valid concern. But I think our alliance is strong, and we have nothing to be concerned of as of now.
It is strong, and Densho takes our alliances seriously, as do you both. We will not be taking any more land close to your borders. We will be taking a little more, possibly slightly towards where the edge of Shadow's weird arrow map thing.
Yeah, this or this.
Weird arrow map thing.
That
was
yeah.
good.
Yeah, his weird arrow on the map. But we will be pushing forward into starting to reclaim some of the Barrenlands territory.
I have no worries about you grabbing lands next to our border. I seek to consolidate my land inwards at the moment, fill in the territories adjacent to my cities, or soon-to-be cities.
Yes, I think that would be a good choice. To continue with Densha, my vision for the future, with what my clan is doing, as you know, we are to guard the Barrenlands against the invasion from the Horde. Not that if the Horde came at this stage, we'd be able to do anything about it. But we will be taking necessary steps to start securing some of the hilly regions, mountainous regions in the Barrenlands, fortifying them, getting a good line of view to know a bit more about what's going on. So that is my immediate goals as of now. And now I turn to both of you and ask what we can expect from where you are going with what you plan for the future.
Feel free to draw. Okay, I see you already started drawing some lines in the map. Feel free to grab a color and draw lines and whatnot. They can always be erased and whatnot in the future, or in the meanwhile, you guys can screenshot to have them in the future if need be. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted whoever just started talking.
You're good. I'm drawing right now. Tessel points to the map and starts to highlight the area that I'm highlighting on the map right now as his plans. Can't really see the edge of line, but he points to all the land that's circled there. He plans to take the hills and to make the volcano a new city and potentially capital, incorporate the lands of Clan Steel, and before that, take the fields that the Perrin have so stupidly forgotten was theirs, but will now be mine. And I will encroach upon their land and take a hill, build a fort on it, and justify it by saying it is my defense against Clan Steel, a mutual enemy that I'm preparing to destroy. The Perrin have seen my persuasion, and they're agreeing to not trade with Clan Steel anymore, so I can easily destroy them. Or not Clan Steel, you named it something else, right?
Theron.
Theron. To destroy Clan Theron and protect my people and ours.
Good strategy.
Good. Yes, Kuchibashi will be doing minor expansions to the north just to secure the borders along the river. I really don't want to have to consume the two northern clans, but if they continue to wage war, then maybe something that has to be done. We want to start focusing on pushing into Eldamar, as that's our primary task, and where I believe the true fortune and strength lies for Kuchibashi. So that's our current plan for moving forward.
Let's see. Naren, I have a newly created settlement close to your territory, a bit back from the region we just claimed. I will be, in regards to our conversation earlier, I will be building a stable there and having preparations made to secure some boars. If it's still all right with you, I'll have our Beastmaster come to. What's your city called?
Shinrin.
Shinren. I'll have one of our Beastmasters come and train in Shinren, So we may hopefully field some cavalry of our own soon.
We will definitely help you establish the first stock and teach your beastmasters how to maintain.
He'll bow at you, and then he'll turn to Warlord Shader.
He nods.
I have a favor to ask of you as well.
Speak, friends.
I have in my possession a hide from what was the ashen boar that I killed in the Barren Lands. It is extremely strong and sturdy. I know you have master craftsmen that
Yes.
are part of your clan.
Of course.
I would like to turn this over to you to have it made into something benefiting a warlord. Of course, I will make the necessary payments, but I would be very thankful if there was a way in which your craftsmen can really make use of it. It is a very unique hide, very strong.
Of
I
course.
wouldn't
Of
presume
course.
to tell them how to do their job, but until they're certain on how to proceed, no rush.
I will give Jorman as much time as he requires to study this item and get the full use out of it. It is not a hide I believe we can ever attain again, so we will not squander it.
No,
One second, bear with me.
It
One
would
second,
appear
be right back.
that, I mean, that's really all I had to say. Now
You're
we know
good.
like where we're going for things.
Well, this is also a great opportunity while everybody's here to bring up any other subjects, Nick, that you may have had that thought of that might be important. You know what I mean? So, was there anything? Oh shit! Was there anything that you thought that might be an important detail? Shit! What did I just do?
I hear a lot of shit.
Yeah, I just moved something. Annoying.
No, the only details would be for Vosk. I assume we will want it to kind of swell in the center and consume its surrounding lands. Do we want Vosk to start pushing north, northwest, or what's the growth plan?
Or is there a growth plan?
I think Vosk should honeycomb to start with. I mean, they're surrounded by hills. But then I think they should start taking the hills to the northeast.
Gotcha.
How does Vosk fare after the fighting? Are the citizens well? Are they starving? Do they need any assistance? I would hate to see their people suffer.
They are rebuilding. He'll turn to Roderick and Hoko, I guess.
Roderick could say, things are. By the way, when you guys sat here before and you guys took the 3 seats, if I remember correctly, was it Densher that sat in the middle? Just out of curiosity.
Originally, but I mean, I don't really care about seats at this point.
I think
they probably would have been a square table with sitting across from one another.
I mean, because there was the original. Oh, fuck. There was the original style of tables, whatever that existed there before. That's why I'm asking.
I think we would have changed it. They would have changed it because now it's not like there's one leader, right? There's supposed to be 2 equal parts at minimum.
It was never one leader before. It was always a council of people.
Well, yeah, but we got 2 guys of dick
I'll
measuring
settle
contests.
This.
Okay.
I was there first. The table is a square. We are sitting across from one another.
Ah, damn it! I already set this up. Have you guys sitting next to each other?
Oh, you got the map, don't you?
Yeah, I have the little map. I'm actually just about done setting up that room as well, so that we can have all the different maps for people to look at when you guys are doing your little meetings.
Is there anything else to discuss on matters of states?
Change the subject.
If not, I have something delicate to discuss.
You have the floor.
I gesture to Roderick and Hoko. Can they leave?
I mean, they'll, Roderick and Hoko would of course leave. They would just kind of like, if Roderick and Hoko, if you ask that, they would kind of look to their appropriate warlord. I imagine they get a bow or a nod or whatever it is. Nod, sorry, and they would immediately walk out.
Remember when
anything else? Okay, cool. Go ahead.
Remember in the forest when the fire started?
Mhm.
And on the exits, my dreams were haunted by a being of flame. The creature, it attacked me in my sleep. He rolls up, I guess, his sleeve or shirt side and shows you like this, I get the scaling marks of burned skin. It is a threat. And it worries me greatly. It cannot be hit by normal means. Only weapons of magic can hit it. And even then, they can phase through it. I was lucky enough to have prepared potions from a gift years ago from a friend that could allow me to hit this being. But still, I don't know if your people have any ways of hitting the incorporeal.
Have your scribes pen up a description.
I describe it the best as I can. Only I saw it in a few soldiers.
Have your scribes pen up a description. I will have it presented to both Ryan and Eric Hoof, who are my authorities on unnatural beings, and maybe between the two of them, they will at least know of a strategy on how to deal with such a creature.
And then
Sounds
Tessa looks at
familiar.
Tencho.
In the Barren Lands, there are spirits that it is, as you say, you cannot hit them during normal means. Some that live in the Barren Lands have the innate ability within them, something in their blood that allows them to sometimes strike at these spirits. But it is not well known how to attack them otherwise. You said you had a magic means of being able to hit them.
Tessa plops his backpack from the floor back onto the table, opens it, and pulls out a potion, or I guess it's more of an oil. This is a potion of magic weapon. I was gifted it some years ago. Luckily, I sleep with it nearby. If I had not, I couldn't have driven the beast away. And he puts it back down. I fear that's my only option if this creature attacks. I hope, and he pulls out a potion of Blessed Weapon. I hope Blessed Weapon may work as well, but I don't really have the quantities to test it, or the desire to play with my life.
So you think a weapon imbued with magic would allow you to hit the creature?
That is the only thing I can assume, as the potion, it didn't let me always hit the creature. It's had a chance of my weapon just slipping through its being. But I can tack quick enough and precisely enough to hit it enough to make the creature wary to fight.
It's always difficult to strike something that has no true mass. But I believe with my Haki no Hono, I should be able to strike the creature if necessary, although it may be at a disadvantage, as my blade is one of flames, as you know, and striking a creature of the flame with the flame does not seem like a strong tactic.
Agreed.
Do you have any way to predict its pattern, when it will strike, where it goes?
I'm not sure. I have many restless nights. I think it's might haunt my dreams, but it's hard to predict something when you're sleeping in a nightmare.
Yeah, you won't be having a restful night anytime soon.
It's been a long time since I've had one, so nothing too new, except now I fear assassins from creatures that can go through buildings.
You have a member of the Arcane Congress, do you not?
I do. Lenny's researching what he can, but Lenny's knowledge isn't absolute. He may have missed something or been too stringent with the rules of the Arcane Congress to learn things. He's a man of law, of following the process, and I can respect him for it. But following the process doesn't attain you all the knowledge you need.
Can he not simply write to the Arcane Congress? They are a large institution, and ask them.
He can,
Also
and we
very
will.
far.
It'll take months, many months, for letters to go reach them, and who knows how long for them to get the information and send it back, and even if it reaches them or reaches us. I found it best to see if we can pool our knowledge together to maybe think of something to destroy this creature.
I'll help however I can, if I can.
He nods.
Agreed.
Okay, so obviously you guys touched on the matter that pertains to the assassination. Obviously, Jake really wanted to. I'm going to switch the thing back over. As a reminder to everybody, for the three of you, if you want to take a glance at the stream, what I had set up here for when we're doing these meetings in the future. I'm not sure what's visible to you guys yet. We'll deal with that next time you have an actual meeting with your crew. But I have these different rooms set up. So you have here is like a basic room for Kushibashi. So you have Naran, of course, at the edge of the table. You have his sword, and actually, funny enough, that is literally a poster or a tapestry of a phoenix right there behind him, which is just like freaking hilarious to have to find one. But perfect. And then more or less what Nick can do is he has the meetings if, like, say, Eric is not in the meeting, and Michiko is not in the meeting, and Ivan is not in the meeting. We can kind of remove them as little visual aids as to who's in the room so we can kind of keep track of who's able to talk or whatever, right? So that's like the... Okay, is Control V not going to work? Control Z not going to work? Of course not. That would only be helpful. So anyways, that's kind of like how we have this set up here. Then you come down here and you're looking at, Control Z did work. It worked in removing the goddamn names from Jake's people. God damn it. Like, it didn't put these people back that I just moved afterwards. It removed the names off the characters written below. Oh, no, never mind. Oh, no. I think maybe it's just not visible to the players or some shit yet because I could see him over here. I don't know. Doesn't matter. We can deal with this later on. In the interim, it has all the characters down here as well for Jake's clan, so you can see who's there. Nick, what is the name of the advisor that is in Jake's clan?
That's a good question. I remember names. It's Densho, right? That was Kiyoshi?
Spell that. Kyo.
Kioshi.
Kyoshi, okay. So it's Shado, so it's Kuchi Kyoshi. Obviously it's Kushibashi, but it's too long of a name for it to fit in the area well. So Kyoshi. And then lastly, and then looking up here at Cells, Cell wanted a circle because he had to be special.
I didn't.
Yep, whatever you say. And so what is the name of the advisor that sits with Clan Shado? That's Nick.
What's that?
Name of the advisor that sits with Clan Shado?
With Clan Shado. Sorry, I was making fun of Cell in another chat. Ina. ENA.
Cool. Awesome. So as long as you get those priorities straight, make sure you get Cell. Get them good, Nick.
Absolutely. Well, I was trying to tell him to I was telling him to try drowning the elemental in the tears of the lost hopes and dreams of his people, but
But those people still have hope that one day they'll pay off their.
Shut up! God, you say. I wonder why the memes lived so long. Maybe. I wonder why.
Oh, Sel, you just give it so much energy.
I know. I'm just.
You're responsible for at least 50% of that.
Oh yeah, at least.
I'm not disagreeing with you. Okay.
I actively tried to let it die.
Did you? Oh.
Yeah. I went a whole session without making a single.
Was it the session where I wasn't in the game?
No.
No,
the one before that.
Yeah, it was definitely mentioned during the one where you were in the
Okay.
weren't here.
Okay.
Anyways,
So Kingdom Rules?
Yep. So after you guys finish up this meeting, there's nothing else to go over, of course, I imagine. So with that being said, we can go ahead and move on to the Kingdom Rules. I'm just happy to be able to have these little rooms pretty much set up for us now, so that we actually have. God damn it! I keep smashing things out. I'm just trying to get their names on there for everybody. But we can go over to the Kingdom Rules now. Yes, sir.
I was gonna say, seeing those rooms set up just makes me think they're gonna try to assassinate us again, since Scott's mapping them out.
What?
Yeah.
No.
You know, with those infinite DM budgets for assassinations.
No. What? No. The rooms aren't set up for me to have a battle map to attack you from. That would be
Listen,
a foolish waste of my time.
If anyone ever tries to fight Tesla one-on-one, he's fucking dead, okay?
Why?
That's all I gotta say. Because Tesla's just gonna murder. It's gonna go / done.
Oh, Tesla's gonna murder them.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying Tesla's just gonna get owned. I'm like,
No,
what?
Tesla's like really good at combat.
Are you? Because the last time I feel like.
Sorry, remember the elemental fight where I made the elemental scared? He ran away. I did like over 50 damage. I did like 60 something damage to him.
Pretty sure that's fake news coming out of.
And half of my attacks missed him. Oh yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Fake news.
If only he could got a crit.
If
Same
only.
elemental, uncritable. I could have killed the I could have killed him.
Could have been a contender, huh?
Yeah, I'm sad.
That's all right.
Let me dry my tears away in Kingdom Rules.
All right. Well, let's actually get into the Kingdom Rules for you too. So, just so you know, you did get a Winifred's Wisdom.
Oh.
Yeah. So you are going to have that on hand for the upcoming rolls. I'm semi-distracted because I'm like, I'm almost done getting these names out here. They didn't feel like working before, but now I've got it down to just 2 left, and then I'm done. All right. So Kingdom Rules.
Roll
Pull
my
you up over
upkeep
here.
phase.
Yeah. 1 second, sir.
I'm ready. Just tell me when to
1
hit the button.
second, sir.
I'm ready. I'm just letting you know I'm ready.
1 second, sir.
Okay.
All right. Where is upkeep? Got my little cheat sheet right there. Got you there. Got Cell's Kingdom over here. And I think that's the basic stuffs I need. You want to do Kingdom rolls? We can have it. Let's go back over to the Kingdom the actual Kingdom overlay. Actually, you know, while I'm here, I just want to drop this here real quick. Can you guys see inside these rooms?
Yeah.
Just make sure all 3 of you can see inside of 3 out of the 4 rooms. So maybe even 4 out of the 4 rooms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes means 3 or 4?
4.
4.
Yeah, 4.
All right, cool. So that means that I can actually use this overlay from now on for you guys as well. Cool. Not only did it give me time to check that, but also I've just finished it. Awesome. So let's go over to the Kingdom Rules. Players here, viewers here. And we can finally finish up. So back up a good bit. And we're going to go down to Cell. I love how Varric didn't even draw a line. He's like, I don't need one. I'm not going up anymore. I'm just going down, baby.
His line is drawn. Do you see the hills?
Mm-hmm.
No? What?
It was a point because his line is just these hills.
Oh, okay. My apologies. Oh, you're talking about the South Hills. I was talking about North, into Kajinxi. So, anyways, so Cell, upkeep phase. Now that we're on side of this thing, everybody can see your dice rolls. Why don't you? Okay.
I succeed.
It is rolling very slowly for me. Hopefully, Roll20 catches up in a moment. So yep, you succeed. Awesome. Your kingdom currently had an unrest of. So I had it actually yeah, it has an unrest of 2. So this at this point in time we're picking up the kingdom rolls. It's going to be after kind of like shit went down recently. Where let's kind of describe what happens coming into this moment. Did you catch last session?
Yeah, I watched most of it.
Okay.
I saw Jake's fail. That's okay.
What? Jake didn't fail.
Thanks, Jake.
So Sarush had come in here and to try to assist. But Sarush, of course, was being guided to go check out the mines and all that stuff by a very appropriately chosen advisor to work with her to settle her concerns. Which advisor went with her?
I would imagine Gorza. She's the counselor, hearth tender, person of the people. Sounds about like the person you'd want.
It's funny because Gorza is actually so easy to get along with, but something about Gorza struck her as wrong. Struck Sarush as wrong. The two ladies did not hit it off very well at all. Gorza was not good at convincing Sarush of the innocence of your people. Accusations were made to Gorza aloud and in front of various other citizens. It did not play out well because Sarush, while she's good at numbers, isn't exactly she's no spy master. You know what I mean? Like subtlety is not exactly her shtick. And she's very, very, very high emotion when it comes to slavery because, she was one. So it's
oh yeah, like my people. I remember that too. Yeah, that's the point, right?
So she even so much as continues to wear the manacles that she had in her slavery as like bracers that she continues to wear to this day because of how intense she is about it. So needless to say, cooler heads did not prevail. A large inter-clan argument happened and people overheard it and it caused a bit of unrest. That's where your unrest came from. Because, it was just handled poorly by Sarush. Either way, that's what you're kind of battering down right now. And it's going well. Good job, buddy. All right. After your immediate kingdom roll, you're then going to have to pay your consumption, which for you is 6.
Yep. Math. I'm just going to minus 15? All my expenses now, so it's easy. So, because I had the upkeep for the volcano preparations.
But that's a bad time to do it. So anyways, then it's going to be filling magic item slot. So why don't you go ahead? Do you have any empty slots?
I should be full. So.
Yep, you have that 1 potion of pass without trace. Moving on. After that is going to be your modify and rest. Are you going to attempt that?
Yeah.
So this is going to be having Atelia Todd go around and beat the shit out of people or whatever it is she does.
It's a royal enforcer. Not beat the shit out of people, end arguments and, unrest problems, right? God. See, easy pass.
Counter Ninetales. Plus 41 against 36. Cool. You did pass that. You might want to press your update your sheet to make sure it has all the correct details on there now.
Doing that right now.
And I don't know. You rolled that with a plus 34.
I forgot to change the sheet, but
I don't know if you didn't roll with a plus 35. It sounds like you need to re-roll it, as Joey likes to squish in my face every opportunity he gets. If you didn't roll with a plus 30, God damn it.
Are you happy? Okay.
No, I'm not.
Had a 5% chance of failure. Okay.
It's my job to try. Okay, it's my job to try.
Is it though? Yeah. Okay. Whatever you say.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, after you complete that, it's now going to be so your unrest is gone now, which is nice. Now it's going to be assigning leadership roles. You have nothing to move anywhere. Correct. Perfect. Next is going to be claiming or abandoning hexes. Are you claiming any hexes?
Yes, I am. So I'm claiming this hex right north of me, of my honeycomb.
Sure.
And then I'm going to spend 4 BP on farms in this hex and the new hex. So I'm spending 5 BP.
I completely understand what you're saying. Oh, except I tried to copy and paste with the wrong sheet. 1 second. With the wrong account, sorry. you here, and add a farm onto you here. Increase your number of fertile farms by 2, which I'm sure you're putting onto your sheet right now. So that's your 2 improvements, and you also got the 1 additional hex. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 BP that cost you, correct?
Yep. So I'm at 6.
All right, cool. And then also, did you increase your number of planes you got?
Yep. Everything's increased by 1, so it's all good.
All right, cool.
Size 16.
Yeah, size 16, pretty cool. You have your honeycomb done, and you have your honeycomb all with fertile farms. That's what 7 farms that removes your what's it called, consumption by 21. That's huge. That's a big win right there. All right, awesome. After that, sir, you've already claimed your hex. You've already built your 2 terrain improvements. I think you can only do 2 right now, can't you? Can't do
Yeah, I can only do 2.
All right, cool. Actually, no, you can do 3.
Oh.
Is there a 3rd
Nice.
terrain improvement you wanted to do?
Ooh, I think I want to wait on the mine in the caverns till after the volcano erupts.
I
That's
wonder why.
pretty reasonable thing to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
After that is going to be improve your settlements. Any buildings you're working. Okay.
Yeah, I'm building a house. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, sweet. Now, is this for you and someone else, or is it just for you?
So I'm building a house.
Where are you building it?
I'll build it in this empty lot.
I can't see it yet. Give me about 10 seconds. Just loading up sheets and Cells Kingdom, and we're good now. Turn back on. There we go. So Fernataro, which one there?
It's the bottom right one.
In the bottom
middle bottom right.
Cool. So you're building a house there, and why are you building a house?
Because my population needs to get bigger.
You know, you could always build tenement houses.
Yeah, I don't want to rest. So.
Oh, gotcha.
What does a house do?
It just gives you more population, and it's something that's it's kind of like a lock feature for some of your other buildings required to be built next to one.
Doesn't building a house reduce unrest?
It can, yes.
I'm at 0 unrest anyway.
And building transitioning from a tenement to house reduces your population, Joey. Tenement actually houses more people. All right. So, anyways, back to a game. You have so that's it. You just build that one building. And were there any other buildings you were working on at the time?
No, working on no buildings, so I'm at.
Well, there's the library and Tiny Tim.
Those are done already.
What are library and Tiny Tim?
Library and orphanage.
Oh, can we fix those names? They offend me.
I was leaving them for you.
Yeah, those are really
I have them right in the list.
Yeah, no, I know that. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. But oh boy, those are bad. All right, after that is going to be create any armies or training up any armies that you already have created, like actually having them train. But I think you're kind of at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm not doing anything with that this month. Next month I will.
Now, how about edicts? Take an extra minute and really kind of like bore into what edicts that you have. See if there's any additional ones that you really need to spend some time making adjustments for, because you have your what's the word I'm looking for here? Shit, what was I saying? You have your how many holidays you have, stuff like that, because your what's it called, consumption just got dropped considerably, so you could potentially re-increase your consumption to gain some other benefits that would be very helpful for you.
Yeah, I'm thinking of going to weekly, but I think I want to get my consumption a little more down before I go to weekly.
So you want to leave it as it is for now, at least, that just the one consumption or whatever.
Yeah, leave it for now.
Okay. And after that is going to be what was I going to say? Taxes. So
go
ahead.
I have plans to withdraw a BP so I can pay for the creation of an item by Jorman using his ability.
Say that one more time.
So I'm gonna withdraw a BP so I can use that to pay Jorman to make me a piece of armor.
Ooh.
I'm using his ability.
Yeah, what is for those in chat that don't understand, obviously the patrons have already seen this. Jorman now has the ability that once every, how often is it? 3 months?
3 months.
Yep, and so you just put a ticker. So at the end of the next month, you put a thing on there afterwards to keep track of how many months to spend. Once every 3 months, he can make a craft check with any craft skill that he has ranks in, and he can just take a 15 on all craft checks related to creating that item. So he's just going to automatically successfully create something. And then Sel, as you know, he has his specialized equipment that he uses for crafting as well, even if Shadow Tessel does not know about it because of his own faith. He keeps it to himself.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm withdrawing a BP. Is that a loyalty check?
Removing a BP, you get it on the rest either way, but give me
Okay.
1 second to get you the answer on that one. So this is income phase. So when you withdraw from the treasury, kingdom rules allow you to expend BP on related to the kingdom. If you want to spend some of your kingdom's resources on something for your own personal benefits, such as a new magic item, you may withdraw BP from the treasury and convert it into gold pieces once per turn, but there's a penalty for doing so. Each time you withdraw BP for your own personal use, unrest increases by the number of BP withdrawn, so 1. Each BP you withdraw this way converts into 2,000 gold pieces of personal funds. So more or less, you just put 2,000 gold pieces in your character sheet, and your unrest increased by 1, which is a small number.
Yeah, and I have 1 BP left in the treasury, but it's fine. Tax is about to go.
Mm-hmm. And one of the perks of this for you other PCs that are kind of like hearing him just put line in his pockets with a bunch of gold, is that if you're, I always talk about being plus 10. The cool thing about being plus 10, plus 11, plus 12 is that when you have a couple of unrest, even if you roll a 91, you still succeed, right? And so sometimes you're like, I need some gold pieces on my character, and this is a great way of being able to get that shit for yourself without it really affecting you. You know what I mean? All right, back to you, Cecil.
I'm having him make me a steel fire forged chain shirt, chain shirt.
So light armor, correct?
Yes.
So give me 1 second to look up the rules of this.
It's an extra 1,000 GP.
Special materials. Yeah, I just want to. I know Fireforged because your weapon's Fireforged as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes my weapon a D6 fire damage and lasts 4 rounds.
Longer instead of 2. Correct.
Yeah,
because you don't have a flaming weapon as Nick that does currently.
Yeah, and I get fire resistance too. So
the fire resistance 2 is the big thing. That's super super helpful.
Yeah.
And because you said it's what, light armor or medium armor?
Light armor. I can't wear medium swashbuckler.
So 1,000 plus 150 for it being masterworked. So
plus 100.
So 1,250 gold pieces is what it costs to craft this for you.
Yes.
It is, just to be clear, is that the best armor? Do you have to wear light armor for one reason or another?
As a swashbuckler, I think I lose abilities if I'm encumbered to medium, or I'm not, or I'm wearing something over light armor.
Just double check, find a swashbuckler ability, maybe like look up Pathfinder swashbuckler, and find out if it says if wearing greater than medium or if wearing, probably like this ability will go away if wearing more than light or no armor or some shit like that.
Either way, light armor is still best for me because I have a +4 to dex.
Okay. Oh, okay. Completely understand that one as well. All right. Awesome. So the last detail is chain shirt provides a -2 ACP armor strength penalty for those that don't know. But you reduce that penalty by 1 for it being masterworked. So you still have a 1 ACP. You're familiar with that?
Yes. Yeah. Swashbucklers are only proficient with light armor and bucklers.
Cool. So. And last thing I want to ask is, Pathfinder, what was the other thing that we had done before? It's the extra additional things that you can put onto items when you're crafting them.
Oh, weapon modifications. There might be armor modifications.
Armor modifications. Cool. So this is important because things like nimble might be useful for you. So
I didn't even think about it. Yeah.
Is plus 1,000 gold pieces. Nimble's maximum dexterity bonus increases by 2, and its ACP is reduced by 1.
That doesn't help me. I get a 1, but I don't have the gold.
Oh,
for
drawback. Its armor bonus is reduced by 1 as well.
Yeah, that's not good for my character. Unless
Yeah.
Is it something that can make the weight less? Because that would be really good. Because I am sitting on the edge of my light encumbrance.
Actually, funny enough, it says plus 5 pounds.
Oh,
It's made like more supple or whatever. Okay, so nimble does not help you.
Nimble does not help me.
Even because sometimes you can boost your dex even if temporarily. That's why I asked.
We don't have magic spells for that. It's a level 2 spell for Cat's
Potions
Grace.
and whatnot find their way into your hands. You know, shit exists. Don't you give me lip, boy.
I'm telling you, I'm not gonna lose 1 AC to get a potential 1 AC from dexterity, right?
I'm going to look through these other options really quickly. And the reason why I'm doing this is because we're specifically dealing with Jorman here, who's incredible. Vital Guard costs 500. Well, it's plus 15 pounds, but that's probably for heavier shit.
Can you send me the link to the armor modifications?
Yeah, I'm actually going to toss it into Twitch chat. And here you go. So anyways, so Vital Guard is well designed. It's +2 for the purpose of critical hits, reduces your speed by 5. Plus 15 pounds seems inappropriate. These extra pounds or whatever, feel like this should be modified by the type of armor it is, as opposed to just plus 20 pounds no matter what you're wearing, because that doesn't make sense. All right, plating adds protection to a suit of armor to wear, cost mobility. Well, that's cool.
I don't think I can do any of this because I'll be medium encumbrance.
I'm looking at some of the other ones. Again, don't worry about the weight as of right now, because it's fine when that makes sense.
There is burnished, which it makes it reflective. I can reflect the armor, like the light from the armor, into enemy eyes.
That's funny. It's a -10 to stealth in the areas of bright or normal light. Does that matter to you?
I'm not normally stealthy.
So that'd be kind of cool if it was like super polished. Jarring. Ooh, listen to this, Jake. When an opponent makes a melee attack against you using power attack feat and misses by 5 or fewer, he must succeed a fortitude saving throw, blah, 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 or be sickened for 1 round. What? Opponents who swing too hard against it wearing this type of armor often regret it. Striking, jarring. Oh, so it's like Jags. Or whatever.
You need an AC for that to work.
You don't have an AC?
Oh, it's so low.
Oh, okay. You'll often have the power attacks made against you. Razor is whenever an opponent hits you with a touch attack. Ooh, that's useful. But anyways, nope. Slumbering. This is just so you can sleep in it. So nope.
Yeah, I've read through them. I don't think I'd want any of them because they they either lower your speed by 5, which is a bit meh.
So this is when you look to the audience and you say, if any of you have ideas of other modifications that could exist utilizing the formats that already happen to be there, and you want to see if Jorman can discover his own ways of modifying items, maybe now is a time to see if you can give some ideas for Jorman for future builds.
Yeah, guys, put some ideas in the Warmonger spoiler chat. Stop being lazy and not giving ideas, guys. Come on.
Wow. Join that Discord. Jesus. All right, so no additional modifications for it?
No, I don't think any of them are worth it.
I don't think you're worth it. So yeah, your armor weighs 25 pounds. Oof, it's heavy.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So +4 AC, +4 max dex, -1 ACP, 20% ASF, normal speed, and 25 pounds. You have your armor with the additional effects of the 2 fire resistance, and it upgrades your weapon's ability. Does your weapon also upgrade your armor's ability or no?
No, I think it's only the weapon that gets upgraded.
Okay. Makes sense because you have more residual heat or whatever inside of it. Cool.
Yeah. Okay. And do I just get the item now? Put on my character sheet and I'm all good?
So to craft an item like that, when you're crafting, give me 1 second. Pathfinder.
Well, Jorman just takes a 15 on the check. And you can do 1 a month.
Crafting. So crafting an item at the end of so the easiest way to do it is at the end of a week. At the end of a week, you make an appropriate check for 1 week's worth. If the check succeeds, multiply your check by the DC. If the result equals the price of the item in silver pieces, you have completed the item. So its value is 1,250, right?
Yes.
So that is 10. Yeah, correct. So that's 12,500.
Should be, yeah.
Okay. So masterwork. So the difficulty to craft. Oh shit! I closed that tab. What's the difficulty of crafting that kind of armor?
It's If it doesn't have any special difficulty, it's the DC 20.
It would say on the type of special materials area. So Fireforged, it doesn't say anything in here with the DC.
Oh, the masterwork cost is included in the listed price. So minus the 150 for masterwork.
Okay, so just 1,000 then.
1,100 for the price of the
11
item.
So it's 11,000. Okay, cool.
Yeah, 11,000.
Cool. So then, give me 1 second. Sorry, just making sure I get this right. So, with the DC for crafting that armor is.
It does not have any listed DC in the section, so I'd assume just masterwork.
Just trying to find armor, firearms, weapons. So masterwork is 20. 1 second. Pathfinder DC to craft armor. Just double checking real quick. 1 second. 1/3 full plate. 500. So DC is off the table. It's 10 plus armor bonus is the normal DC. So 10 plus armor bonus is
Is it additive DC or is it just a DC because the DC?
No, you
20
could just go with the higher one for the masterwork. So it should just be the 20. So we're fine with that. So what he would want to do, because his skill level is what?
Jorman's is high.
Trying to open him up.
I think it's he has a plus 12.
This is important, by the way, for you guys, because he's going to be able to craft you guys shit in the future. So it's only a plus 12. That stinks. So
plus 15.
So 12 plus 15 is 27. So that means he can't do the plus 10 to DC to craft things faster, which is like a really cool feature to like increase, because you multiply your check result by the DC to get your total result. You know what I mean? So that's why I was asking. So 27 times 20. So because he automatically takes a 27 times 20, because that's going to be the DC, is 540. And then you're going to do that by 4 weeks. So you do 540 is, and he needs to do how much? 11,000?
Yeah, it's gonna take like 6 months.
Yep. So he's already using this ability. That's why if you were to increase the DC by 10, that first result would have been significantly higher.
Yeah.
And that's because we're crafting a very valuable item. That's why it takes so long. Those are the ones that had Fortune's favors on them, which is why they were crafted so quickly. So, makes sense, right?
Yeah, no, I follow.
Cool.
It'll be done like halfway through 5.5 months, about 5 months, like 2 weeks, or 5 months and a week. Because it'll be in 5 months, it'll be 10,800. So
the cool thing is, before he even finishes this item, he'll be able to start triggering that effect for the next item he's making. You know what I mean? So you might want to put a ticker on this for how much he's able to do a month, at least with his current skill. To be on there. And also it might be worth it for you in the future to try to get your hands on magic items that increase his skill, right?
noted.
Because if you, let's say you found a magic item that increased his skill by like a +5, then instead of rolling with a 27, he would have a what would it be, a 32 times 30 would have been that much a month.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
But can't really help it now.
Nope. Oh, sorry, that much a week I meant to say. Yeah. Because that would make this much a month, yeah, which would be way faster. All right, so anyways, yeah, you already know that it's 2,160 a month. Back to Gim. Jorman, thank you so much, sir, for getting started on that one, being badass. Anything else you're doing? You accepted the unrest, you took the... Oh, by the way, that only costs you to craft an item. I don't know if you know this. It costs you 1/3 the cost.
Oh, to craft it?
Correct. That's actually so, the craft rules is 1/3 the cost.
That means that item is a lot cheaper.
Correct. So you might want to still pay that. Sorry, keep that BP converted for that additional money. But if it's only 1,100 gold pieces, you're only paying, what's that? Less than 400.
I didn't have 400, so.
Oh, okay, cool. That means you have more money in your pockets, which is nice.
So it's wait. So if it's 1,100 times 10.
No. It's 1,100.
11,000
divided by 3. Okay. Oh, there you go. That's how much money you just spent.
And what's the total silver cost?
That doesn't matter.
Oh, the doesn't matter?
This is the cost that you spend out of pocket to craft the item.
Okay, that's not how much it takes to craft. Understood.
Correct. Yep. So,
So I
you
paid
just saved yourself a lot of
366?
money. Correct.
Okay.
Or 370, whatever. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
I'll-
Moving on. After that is going to be back to the rest of the kingdom rolls to finish up your shit. You're not making any deposits. Are you selling expensive items? And did you want to try to sell that potion out of your kingdom roll?
Not yet.
Or did you want to buy it for yourself? Just buy it. Potion of Pass Without Trace.
How much is it? How much is a potion of Pass Without Trace?
That's a good question. I think it's it might be 50 or it might be 300. Pathfinder.
If it's 50, I'll buy it. If it's
potions.
300, I'll get rid of it later.
It's 50.
If it's 50, then I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Yep, he's right. It's 50.
So I'll spend the 50 gold on it.
Cool.
So I'm at 1651 gold.
All right, cool. And that is empties that out. So make sure you clear off that sheet there, so that we know that you can fill up that slot in the future.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing that right now.
Cool. All right, back to game. You finished that. Now it's time for your actual rolling for your taxes. Sell your taxes are currently sitting at the what are they? Normal
40.
taxes.
Yeah. Normal taxes at 41.
Lame normal taxes. Lame.
I thought about it, but it wouldn't look good for my image if I were to do crushing now, would it?
No,
already got
then
enough problems,
then
Scott.
they would know you would have this like normal taxes. Looks like you're trying to hide something.
That's not how that works.
Yeah, sure.
You know, when something's obvious, maybe it is the obvious thing and not something deeper. Anyway, I'm going to roll luck, obviously. So just roll it ahead of time.
Oh, obvious.
Rolled 4. Let's go. Hey, guys. Hey, there's no more luck in the chat. So maybe you guys should go on that. Thanks,
Plus-
guys. Love you.
Plus 43. And while you plus 43 that, I want you to note that if you roll a 91, it's only a 33.
So my economy is 40. I'm going to just 40.
You can just go ahead and roll a 91. That made me happy.
No, I won't. I hope.
That made me happy. Roll a 91.
Please don't roll a 91.
Roll a
I
91.
really.
It's either that or during one of the advisor tasks.
Oh, I'll roll a
Oh
19.
my god!
That's all.
Jesus Christ.
All modifiers in there. Oh, plus 5. So we're at 26 plus 1 to 27.
He has his bonus PP. His character sheet's actually done correctly. You really should work with the two of them at some point in time, like maybe like pre-session call or something like that, to get their correct character sheets to them. Like work them through how they work so that they can have them set up to work the way yours does. Because it's actually kind of nice to have that like big boost at the end there.
It's gratifying. So to note this month is when Lenny said he was able to retrieve sending stones for Jake.
Mm-hmm.
So that happens this month. Volcano is down to 1.
It was 3 sending stones, right?
It might have been. I don't remember. It's
Was
been
that the whole
for-
idea? Is that each of you could have a sending stone?
I think it was no. It was for the people in the barren lands to have easier communications. Was the purpose?
Oh, for Jake's spy.
Yes.
The problem with Jake's spy is he's very
I'm aware what the problem is.
Oh yeah, that's right. You do know exactly.
I know what the problem is. That's not my problem in this game.
Who had the kingdom rolls last time?
Jake did.
Cool. So why don't we, before we get into your events, since they arrived now, which is around the same time as Jake's, Jake, how would you have gotten those down there into your people? Yeah, I suppose you don't have access to an aviary or something like that, where you can just have like an eagle drop it off or some shit. What is it? What would be a tactic to get your stuff down there?
I mean, I lived in the Barrenlands for a long time. I know, people through there. I know certain clans and things
The
like that. I could have
southern
someone.
Barrenlands.
Yeah, but I could have somebody like at least halfway there. You know what I mean? they'd have to.
And there's a dead
no other
port?
way but to go to walk. Really, I mean, what else is there?
They were all the way down to Deadport, and spoiler alert, and beyond. So
We're not in Deadport right now.
are you still technically in the Barrowlands right now?
Yeah. We're just next to, some other nations.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. You are technically in the Barrowlands still. Yeah. So we'll get that down to them during your next Kingdom Roll, I suppose. We'll have to have one of your advisors handle that task of getting it to them.
Yeah. Good luck on that one, Jake.
Might want to write that one down, Jake, so that way you can have more direct communication with actually Ash. And Ash and Phoenix might like the idea of having the ability to speak with you more directly. Either way, let's keep going. All right, Cell, let's finish you up.
Yeah. So events. Also, just I guess I would bring the boar hide to Lenny and Jorman to figure out if there's any properties to it or whatever. I don't know if you want to do anything with that. I just give it to them and hey, work out whatever the fuck this is.
Lenny goes, ooh. And Jorman's like, don't touch that yet.
I tell them it's armor. It will be made into
it's not
armor.
made out of metal. You don't have instant claim over it. It's hide. Exactly. I know how to handle leathers. When was the last time you skinned something? I may have skimped on an exam or two. Okay, no, I didn't.
So I tell him it's for Warlord Densho and make it, and I'll also poke Lenny to make sure he gets 3 of the violins. Whenever that happens. 1 for me, 1 for him, and 1 for Pete to have a violin off.
Either way, they're gonna hold on to it, make sure you mark it somewhere or whatever. Back to game.
Yeah.
All right. As for your events, first and foremost, we already know this one's coming, don't we?
Sad. Go. Tell me what Jake has brought upon me.
What? Jake has done.
What you have wrought upon yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So, this would be Gorza, is her name. A little exasperated. Warlord Tessel. I have to say that while it is certainly wonderful that we have allies that we see we can agree with from time to time and can trust from time to time, they can be a little bit difficult, stubborn, obnoxious, and accusing.
Speak plainly, please. It's been a stressful couple of weeks. What has happened?
Do you know of the rumors that are happening throughout?
Of course, the rumors that are spread by that vile woman of the broken chain that believes she can command a warlord to do her will.
You can see that Rima, she's white knuckling right now, and she has a look in her face that you think that she would be tearing up blood at the moment. You know what I mean? She is.
She might get a heart attack or something. She's old.
Yeah, she's not looking very happy at the moment. Anyways, you have the so it says, this serious trouble has come to the hard workers of Clan Shado. This is again continuing to be Gorza. Clan Densho's treasurer did, shall we say, aggressively review the problems and maybe caused a little bit more.
Have the mines been harmed? Or do we need to send engineers in there to repair immediately?
You would not do anything like that, but god damn it, that woman needs her tongue cut out. Excuse me. I'm sorry. The idea that there is slavery in Shado, it's a false rumor. It's a false rumor. We need it to stop. There have been reports of break-ins at the mines and workshops. There's false search for evidence of slavery. Workers have been interrogated, then branded, while foremans and shop owners are killed. This can't be Densho. This makes no sense that this is Densho. I think it's other people that are capitalizing on an opportunity of what's going on here. But things have just been getting worse. After all is said and done, they loot ore. They take our precious metals.
And they take the lives of our people.
Warlord, we need this to be handled. We need to drive them and seek justice over the border into Clan Densho. Again, I do not think, I want to be clear, I do not think that a Warlord of Varix has anything to do with this, or even that his advisors have anything to do with this. But perhaps you know what they're like over the border. You know what they're like to the south.
Does Pete have anything to say?
Pete just smiles.
No, it's Jake.
I'm Pete, thank you.
This is like a big thing. I think Pete needs to say something.
Oh, I wasn't sure if this was a full council meeting.
Gorza would definitely be willing to say this in front of the full council. She's somebody that's about open communication.
Tessa would want most things in front of the full council, unless they're like off doing something, right?
Or they request otherwise. So it's pretty much always assume full council unless they're off doing something or they request otherwise. Before you go on, Jake, I would say again with Gorza, she has little secrets she keeps to herself pertaining to like magical stuff, but other than that, she's a pretty open communication person. Go ahead, Jake.
With you kind of looking to Pete, he'll speak up, and it's not in his usual kind of playful tone. He's quite serious, and he says, the one thing you haven't done, Warlord Tessel, is to come out and publicly and loudly deny these rumors. These have made their way even into the
Rima slams her fist down really hard and says, "Because they're not true, and we shouldn't have to give them credence."
He puts his hand. Don't blow a blood gasket, Rima. Okay, calm yourself. There is no problem of humility. We are not foolish men and women built upon pride and our pride and hubris. Humility can ease the mind of our people and our neighbors.
Rima is going to stand up, and she's not going to leave the room by any stretch of the imagination, but she's going to stand up and kind of take the opportunity to just kind of pace back and forth for the sake of, keeping her own mind about her wits about her. I imagine Ina is in here as well, so Nick is always willing to chime in. Go ahead. Jorman, I imagine, is not here because he's handling tasks.
Basically, like the damage is done, and that's how feels. Our best, or your best course of action for dealing with these kind of claims is basically to prove that the accuser is false. I mean, at the end of the day, we have to deal with the broken chain. They're the ones spreading these rumors. They're instigating it, and they simply just need to be put down. You can get up and deny claims, and to be honest with you, it would be meaningless.
You can't just put the broken chain down. They are well established throughout Kijinxi, the Barrenlands, and beyond. The person, however, you may find easier to target. The broken chain are, however you wish to look at things, they fight for Vrogar and they fight for freedom. Now, certainly every member is different, and that is where, and he'll turn to, I can't remember Nick's character's name.
Yeah,
he'll turn to her and he'll say,
can you not see the names on the map?
I wasn't looking at the map. Okay. Maybe discrediting them directly may help. I still, in my opinion, think it is always better to take something head on rather than just let people gossip and let let it go unchallenged. But the decision is on you.
I heard recently that there was a great festival in Clandensho. Maybe something similar here would help ease the people, and use that as a guise to find whatever agenda that this, I forget the person's name, that this priestess or whatever is going for. I can't. This is a crusade, and something is driving it. So we need to find it. We need to find the goal, the purpose.
Be wary, though. If you do choose to target the broken chain, there are many without Kijinxi that'll think you are targeting Vroga himself.
Broken chain are not my enemies. I may not agree with all of their ways of accomplishing freedom and their rashness and desire to kill, mostly. But I'm not foolish. I don't believe targeting the broken chain will keep my people safe. And that is my priority, to keep my people safe.
Wise words, Warlord.
Scott, lay me with the. Is there like event options, or am I just like free to decide how I handle this?
Oh, there are options. There's so many options. You have all the options.
Oh, wow.
You're welcome. So again, to finish up the concern, it's that these aren't sanctioned actions by Clan Densho, but likely the people on the borders are the more fringe people. That is burn everything down. Or the more fringe people. So God, your stupid names are hard for me to remember what they are. So give me 1 second. Your Marshal, which is actually called Marshal. Your Sentinel.
Oh.
Says border control. So this is Tiktung. Tiktung, who obviously you have a good relationship with. Tiktung says, Warlord, most likely they're crossing the borders away from the main road. Let's enforce the border and catch them coming across before they can act again. If it's a fight they want, we'll bring it to them. But most importantly, let's keep it at the border so it keeps things quieter in our nation, but also will make it easier to work with, to turn them back over to Warlord Verix, so that he is keenly aware of the situation. Give me 1 second. Your grins up is called Envoy. And kind of chiming in on that, Aaliyah actually says, it's actually not a bad idea. If we are able to gather them up, and then we can send an envoy or the like, or I could even go myself back over to Warlord Verix and inform him of exactly what's happening. Maybe after a few have been collected, we could even work with the Marshal in Clan Densho. They could work the border on their side and us on ours. That's, of course, assuming that we can at least show some progress beforehand. Next up would be your Atelia. Would speak in and say, maybe taking care of this tactily might be our best solution. We could work on both sides of the border, reaching out with Irithel instead of the Marshal over there. While he keeps an eye on suspicious gatherings and people frequently crossing the border, we can make sting operations on our workshops using the information that he shares with us to plan ahead, capture, and interrogate the leaders of those who are raiding us. So we allow them to cross the borders instead of keeping them there, but then grab them before or in the middle of the action. The ones that are more willing to act and not just coming along for the sightseeing. The real problem. Continuing on from there, your Ember Keeper is so Rima. Rima Gorza. So this is Rima says, we need to address these rumors publicly because this is not this is Gorza. We need to address these rumors publicly because this is not a problem with Clan Densho, as I've said, with the broken chain. Rima kind of like nods very affirmatively with this. It's obvious that they are the cause, and now they have blood on their hands. Having the people's anger misdirected at Densho only harms our alliance and breeds more and more bad blood between the citizens of our clan and theirs. While certainly I have choice words that I'd like to have with Suresh if I see her anytime soon, that doesn't mean that she genuinely means ill will. I think she was just out of sorts at the moment. Overall, she's not a terrible person. So we must make it clear to our people that the fault and slander lies with the broken chain, not with their people or with us. Forgive the people for their misdeeds, because they were misled and misguided for what it is that they did. And chiming in, Rima would say, besides any besides any chance to knock the broken chain down a few pegs, wouldn't be a bad opportunity to take. And then finally, Tark. Actually, I have to look up who Tark is.
He's a warden.
Thank you. I have to look up who Tark is.
I don't have anything good for Tark. I haven't thought. I know he's a hobgoblin. He's an engineer.
That's right, the engineering hobo. That's right. So Tark is. Cause I don't know if I've ever roleplayed as Tark before. So
he was there. He was there once when the Broken Chain Lady first came, and he brought her here to me, and I had him follow her out so she didn't start like preaching and shit to people.
So Tark brought in his token advisor card. So anyways, he says they made a mistake if they decided to attack us in the mines, because that is where Clan Shadow thrives the most. If they're using the excuse of the rumor to steal our ores, then let's lead them to a few down a few false trails in the mines. Maybe collapse a couple of old passages and have the that we've already mined out. Afterwards, we can always dig them up and arrest them if we get to it.
That's a hard pass on that one, dog. So, Gorza's was we basically deny these rumors.
Which was the suggestion of, I think, Naren?
No, Pete.
Oh, Pete,
Pete
sorry.
the Cork. Yeah, okay. I like the idea of that one a lot.
Yeah, that's right. It worked at Paradel, right, LD? Go ahead.
I would also like to, I guess, like, in like, the world is, like, send the warden and people out to stop people from murdering people, you know? Have our like troops or whatever maybe mobilize a bit and start protecting war so people don't start getting killed and mine shafts get collapsed and stuff, right? Sounds like pretty bad shit. But yeah, I guess I'll go with the option of Gorza. I like that one, and Elias.
You can actually have Gorza or Rima head this one up. Either one of them can do it. One of them is a bit hot-headed at the moment, but you also know she's very capable for the task. This is, to be clear, a stability task, which you have no pluses or minuses. Rima offers a +6. Gorza offers a +6. Gorza's focus is on loyalty. Rima's focus is on... I don't think I ever got a focus from Rosin.
Killing the broken chain? I think that would fit really well. Would Gorza's flaw or focus be put into this?
Gorza's, this is confrontational as a flaw. This is loyalty. So I mean, because hers is about appealing to the people and their loyalty and so on and so forth, I actually imagine that her focus would apply here.
Yeah, I'm going for Gorza, I think.
Yeah.
Consular. It's a stability.
It's literally talking to the people. I mean,
it's a focus.
That's her shtick.
Yeah. Okay. And what's my DC?
Oh, unfortunately, does Gorza have a -1 on her upcoming check because it's something that happened recently? Because I see a tick to -1 on there.
Oh, yeah, but that was like months ago. It was because of the Lenny critically failing the thing.
That doesn't matter if she hasn't done a roll.
Okay,
yet.
I have a +7.
Okay.
And what's the DC?
Oh, sorry. So for that option, it's the DC is actually challenging.
Challenging. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna.
It's funny. It was hard for everybody else, but specifically Gorza's was the challenging option because you're playing to the strengths.
I'm gonna pop my Winifred's here.
Okay.
I want
so
to
challenge
super
is a
succeed this.
16. So you have a +7.
+5.
So now you have a plus a 13. Sorry, +12
12
against a
yeah.
DC 16. Wow. I hope you roll a 2.
That's a crit success. So
Beautiful. So with your critical success, you are able to easily kind of start dissuading this situation. I'm not going to describe to you the outcome yet, and the reason why is because of the next event I'm going to have coming your way.
oh, okay.
This is a loyalty challenge that is happening here. 1 second. So this is brought to your attention. It says a handful of workers have been found. So this is going to come from. Let's see. This is actually going to come from the person that oversees the mines the most. Is it Tiktung?
It would be Tiktung or Tark.
Yeah. Let's say Tiktung would bring this to you. Warlord Tessel, I also wanted to bring to your attention that a handful of workers have been found to be in the possession of broken links after a laborer came forward to report on them having been approached by someone asking about the worker conditions and whether the work was being compensated. It seems
Tessel
our workers are also being approached by someone who has a thing for chains. And then you can once again see Rima seething.
Tessel scowls like, this is, I thought those who worship Vroga are all about honor. But they're being deceptive, it seems. Which cowardly scum.
Don't forget that the other two have their advisors, Nick and Varix. You also have your advisors there if you care to chime in on this one at all or now. And feel free to hear the options first. Okay. So Gorza chimes in, even though I know you're planning on going with Gorza. You already went with Gorza for the other one, so actually you already rolled. So she won't chime in at all. You'll actually have Rima will say, false prophets walk among the faithful and spout their fringe beliefs. This group of fanatics and seem to be bent on spreading their version and vision as only the short-sighted can. Fervor and faith we can match, and a theological dispute is best settled with the wise words of a spiritual leader. I will embrace I will embarrass these strangers who seek to subvert and supplant the faith with their sermons and debates. I will handle this. I will make sure that they know we are not the ones that they should be messing with. Chiming in as well, Marshall, which I believe is Tiktung, who had already brought it up to you, says, we can also step up control of travel in and out. Again, more scrutiny and searching, as well as follow and track the known members that we find. We can hamper their movements and thus slow or vex their efforts. We may even get an idea as to how many there are and where they're held out. It sure is not in their non-existent monastery there, Warlord. And then he kind of will lean in and say, kind of quietly, so it might not necessarily be heard by the others. I don't think the other two have character sheets for their characters, so that's okay. Oh wait, do you guys actually have skills? This is specifically Pete. If you have perception for your character, feel free to roll it. But he leans in and says to Tessel, at least not in our borders. But Pete is welcome to roll a perception check.
Yeah, but I don't have the modifiers. I don't know what they are.
You had 9 skills, remember?
Yeah, I know what my first 3 are.
What's the modifier?
Yeah, you
What's
just
the
gave
plus?
us tiers, not the modifier. You just gave us the tier.
Oh, my apologies. It was 963.
So you have a +9, +6, or +3 on the
Correct.
tier.
Oh, sweet.
And just so you know, that actually goes up as your characters go up in level. The middle tier equals whatever level you are, and then the other tier is a +3, -3 from there.
Ah.
Yeah, that's how I got those numbers, so it's not like ethereal. I hear the booping.
They both rolled 17s.
Do either of you want to luck die that? You both rolled an 8? Yeah, so
With
the same bottom. Do either of you want to luck die that?
You have a 50% chance of hearing. No,
The
yeah.
luck-
50. I wouldn't waste it
I
on
don't
this.
know.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to luck die it? Okay, then Jake, I will actually tell you that with where you're sitting and the fact that it's Tick-Tongue talking, I'll actually say Ina is the one that hears it. Because if you look over here, Ina is literally sitting right by Tick-Tongue. So as you can imagine, as Shadow Tessel kind of like moves forward, listening, Tick-Tongue kind of leans in and says something. Ina hears it perfectly, and the other one there, what's the name? Pete gets a pretty good idea. Is pretty sure what they just heard.
Tess would say, no need to throw shade. I respect my allies' decisions. We don't all have to agree on what faith to worship. That is the point. They follow their ways and I follow mine.
Then chiming in, you would have a tell you would say, I have a couple of options, different ways that we can handle this. The workers are simple folk, men and women that are used to just doing as they're told. We don't need to reaffirm our position for them and crack down on them, answering questions to any strangers that may ask our business. Thinking is not their strong suit, and I mean this with respect, she says to Tick-Tongue. She says, thinking is not their strong suit, so we'll tell them not to. The foreigners will just muddy the waters for them. If we find any broken chain links going forward, if it's a problem we can just let them accept what it is that they're doing. We can handle any issues that we kind of come across as we see them. We just tell them, ignore these folk. Just keep it simple. That being said, the broken chain is looking for signs of slavery, or failing that, they will play that an unbeliever. They'll play that they are anybody that is. I'm trying to think of how to rephrase this, because I don't like it the way it's written. So they will
heretic?
play. It just seems like they're always willing to claim anybody to be an unbeliever. Always seem to claim to see if others are just. I suppose heretic is a good word for it. I say we let them complete their inquiries and let them learn that we have nothing to hide. Any attempt at stopping them will only make them think that there is something to hide. Of course, we will quietly observe them too, and we will find out all that we can passively without putting our necks too far forward. For the workers, it's a test of their sense, faith, and loyalty. But for them, it's allowing them to satisfy their curiosity, realize that we're innocent, and if they are truly innocent in what it is that they're looking for, they will see that there is nothing to happen. But if there is no innocence on their behalf, and this is truly meant to be subjugation or subterfuge, then we've found our targets, can trace them back to where they are, and handle it accordingly. One way or another, we could put the faith in the people, tell them to shut up and hope that they do, or let them do what they want to anyways, and follow up.
Is that it?
She nods.
He nods. So it's either Rima. I'm thinking either Rima's or that second part of Atelia. Letting them do their inquiry, watch them do it. And if they're not being in bad faith, if they're being real, then they'll find nothing, because there is nothing.
This is where Pete and Ina might want to chime in. More Pete, but
If you look over at Pete, you can see he's got his hands on the table, but he has them in fists, and he's white knuckling himself, and like he's young, he's very young, but he gets up and he says, "With all due respect, Lord Tessel, if I may speak honestly."
Always.
Rima, the way she put it, a fringe belief is far from the truth. If I may say, and I mean no disrespect, your own faith is rather new, and I'm aware that it follows some of the same tenets as Vrogar, and you worship Vrogar in a different way. But
if people choose to worship Vroga, they may.
Yes, well, to say that that is a fringe, they represent some type of fringe faith. There are two key tenets of the teachings of Vrogar: battle and freedom. You may do as you want. This hits hard for me. I'm a worshipper myself, as I have said, most in this region. I fear you may alienate yourself even more, especially with the anger of that one.
The broken chains.
She actually will chime in as well and say there are not only two key tenets to the worship of Vroga. Depending on who it is that worships Vroga, there are other tenets as well, such as chaos, destruction, and war. Yes, battle. Yes, freedom. But also chaos, also destruction, and also war. The question is, which of those tenets does this branch of the broken chain choose to follow? Can you speak for them? How well do you know them?
You make a good point. Maybe you should find out before you debate anything of which you know not.
I can point to actions already taken. We already know what their motives are. We already know their tactics. They've been noted. They've negatively impacted your clan's relationship with ours and caused a rubbing between our peoples. How are we going to continue to persist if our people are on borderline calling for destruction and chaos between our clans as long as this fringe faith continues to disrupt in the way that it does?
Pete stands at that and looks at Rima.
Rima, hold your tongue. He's our guest.
She will subside for the moment, but her eyes are held strong. You know, it's not like she's looking accusing at him, because she is not accusing him of being of that faith, but it's just she's kind of like in a moment where because of how upset she is with what's going on, it's hard for her to see the lines between who is friend and who is foe. You know, it's like being on Twitter. You know, like, oh, we agree on everything, but maybe like what shade of blue this is. Now instantly I'm your enemy. Oh, thanks, Twitter.
Pete, I agree with you. The broken chain is a fringe faith in this region of Kajinxi. In the north, it is not. I agree, but we are not in the north.
You look at Pete and he's visibly shaking. Like you can tell in his face, and he looks at you and tries to calm himself, and he says, "I believe I'm too close to this matter. If you don't mind, I will dismiss myself."
Of course, Pete. I appreciate your advice.
He turns and walks out.
As he turns to walk out, Aaliyah actually looks, gives Tessel like a little bit of a look, like, should I go with?
Nah, he gestures to not. Give him space.
She kind of gives continues to look after him as he goes, like, look, I really want to ignore your commands, because but then you can see she just kind of like swallows it down and spends the next couple of minutes like trying to push it into the back of her mind to focus on what's going on at hand.
I'm sure she would probably make it better, but you gotta give people space.
Yeah, of course. That's just her shtick, is to kind of focus on these things. So anyways, back to the thing.
I pick Ateliatod's second choice.
So you look at Ateliatod and you say, let's watch. Let's see our people.
They believe in me and us, and I believe in them.
So she looks at Atelia as she starts to speak, but after the first couple of words, she switches over to looking at Tesla and says, "So it's not simply a test of the people and what it is that it's not simply a test for the people and their faith, but I suppose a test for those that have guided them in the past. I understand." And then she'll also give like a bit of a bow to excuse herself, and will walk out, going a separate direction, of course, from Pete, needing to go blow off steam.
Not God, half my councils left.
This is where I think Ina will chime in and say, if I might add to this, we know the broken chain is here. We know they're stirring up trouble, but we also know your people, they love you. You're a charismatic leader, a strong speaker. And some could see it as convenient that the broken chain comes in, spreads dissent, and then there's an assassination attempt on your life.
Sadly, that is easily portrayed when my citizens see a being of pure flame flying through the streets.
It doesn't matter, but it is convenient.
I guess so, but I will not
to be relevant.
I will not.
It's convenient.
My citizens can draw their conclusions, but I will not play with their minds and tell lies.
As you wish.
And so Atelia nods, and she'll take her task. So the Atelia task that you chose, her DC is simple because it's legit just like hang back and follow people. It's actually like you chose the easy one. Like literally out of all of them. By the way, Rima's was hard.
I figured
20,
but like, I picked what makes sense. Like my people they know there's no slavery here. There's nothing to worry about. We're testing the broken chain to see if they're being honest in their investigation or they're lying and trying to do literal like bad shit, right? And then we have to deal with them if they're being bad faith.
I feel like what the patrons are trying to do right now is get to the bottom of this damn thing to get the joke gone. Like let's just smash him with events to prove his either he's crumbled beneath the meme.
I will not crumble beneath this meme. I will beat this meme back.
And if flash forward to like next session from now, and you just have Cell like buried underneath a bag with memes written on it. Like,
God. All right, so it's a Atelia Todd loyalty.
Atelia Todd it's a loyalty check, which is plus minus nothing. Atelia Todd has no focuses because she's just a hype train character.
Yep,
and so she's just a +5 against a DC 8. Roll a 1 for me, please.
Nope, I critically successed. It's all fine.
Successed.
Yeah, 21.
Beautiful.
So, thank you.
Things go exceedingly well. From a combination of having Gorza approach the situation to the people out there and the attacks that are happening, not the subterfuges going on inside the mines, but specifically the attacks. Having it so that she is kind of like bring these rumors public, make sure everybody knows what's going on, so on and so forth. It goes over extremely well. At the same time she's doing so, she also salt and peppers in there the fact that specifically the broken chain are the ones that's spreading these rumors. That it's specifically the broken chain doing so. She's subtle about this. She's not an idiot. If you actually look up Gorza's character sheet, give me a moment. His Roll20 is lagging.
She is
and
a 12.
Hold on.
She's a 12.
I have so many Roll20s open. Yeah, she's a 12 intelligence, but a 14 wisdom and a 16 charisma, right?
Yeah.
So she is by no means an idiot. She's very influential. So she's able to convince the people like these attacks are unnecessary. When you see these attacks happening, defend yourselves, your families, your neighbors, but at the same time, do not retaliate. This is being instigated. These people are being misled. These are our neighbors, and we have friends on the other side trying to rout out this insurrectionist, far right-wing propaganda piece. QAnon will be resolved.
Listen, the broken chain is literally QAnon in this case. Okay, that's all I gotta say. That's the truth.
So either way, this is Tesla's Pizzagate. Oh no, Regicide just went through Pizzagate with what's going on underneath the cities of Valorant. Anyways, so you sir, so she's able to convince them to kind of like defend yourselves, but don't push on, let go of these grudges, etc., and then allude to the fact that the broken chain's doing this. And she very much is able to succeed in doing so. That was a stability check, I think, for her, correct?
Yes.
She was the stability check. And you were actually able to critically succeed on that stability check, and that makes two things happen. First and foremost, you're going to get a +1 to your stability. This is going to be a permanent +1 to your stability, which is a good thing. But also, too, this is actually going to increase the relationships between you and Densho pretty great. So what this is going to do is you're going to want to mark this down somewhere for a future event that pertains to a qualm between your people and the people of Densho. You're going to get a +4 to the advisor task that has to handle that.
Only if it's negative, or if it's just anything?
Any task pertaining to the people of your people with people of Densho.
Gotcha.
And that's going to be a huge boon you get for that for the future.
Yep, I've marked it in notes.
Now, with the one that what's her name had done, this is the loyalty one, the Atelier one. So with your success, you're actually going to get a +1 permanent bonus to loyalty, which is very nice. But at the same time, they get that +1 permanent bonus to loyalty. You also are able to ascertain the whereabouts of where these people are kind of reporting back to, where it is these people are heading into and out of. Would you like to take a guess as to where they happen to be located? I'll give you 3 guesses, but the first 2 don't count.
One is my southeastern neighbor that I keep forgetting their new name, Clan Steel.
Yeah, it's give me a second. That making me think of it. Hold on. It's an actress. Last name Freeman. Fuck. Maybe forget. I have to look it up.
I should write this down.
Hold on. Yeah, you should, bastard.
Hey, listen. We'll be calling Clan Steel.
Charlize Theron. Charlize Theron.
Can you write it down?
Charlize Theron. And it's funny because my notes for myself, Theron.
Can you write it in chat?
My The. Do you know how to spell it?
No, I can't spell words.
So it's funny because like my note to myself was about like 8 gifs of Charlize Theron.
Okay. I have it marked.
To remind myself. One of them was from the movie, what was it, Monster? And she did like a full transformation for that movie. It was pretty intense. Oh my god. Rena just sent me something.
Oh? Is it about Pizzagate?
It's amazing. I'm still waiting for all of the emotes that I got. But give me 1 second. This is incredible. Let me do it actually this way. Let me close this one. Chat. Rena just sent this to me. I will be sharing this with you in just a moment. This is very exciting. Here we go. So chat, Rena just sent this to me. It's a new emote for the channel. It's motherfucking DJ Myson.
I don't think chat can see it. Now we can.
Yeah.
It took a bit to load. That's adorable.
It's DJ Myson.
That's fantastic.
It's oh my god. Can we anybody that's on a device where you can both be here and inside Discord for a second? Do you want to go ahead and at Rena and just tell her how much of a god, like yes queen? Can we give Rena a whole bunch of yes queen, please? Rena needs a lot of yes queen. This is incredible. In 1 second. Yes, queen. Yes, queen. Yes, queen. Yes, queen. No idea what that sounds like. So back to game. Wow, that's fucking amazing. Rena is she's a unique person. She's amazing. I'm so happy to be friends with her. All right. Sir, that was the result for that one. You actually discovered where they were. They happen to be inside Clan Theron.
Yeah, figured. We'll go see to them when we destroy our neighbors.
So the big thing is, with it being inside Clan Theron, that poses a whole different situation. You what is it? With that being inside Clan Theron, that actually, Aaliyah actually will want to bring up a separate conversation after this is kind of like already resolved. And this is going to be a meeting with Pete, Ina, Aaliyah, and Tessel, as well as Naito.
Atelia?
Is it Atelia?
Will she be there too because she's a spy master?
No, others could be there as well, but mostly it's just kind of like discuss a certain detail. It's more or less meant to be like a smaller meeting. So Aaliyah would actually be like, I'd like to thank everybody for joining for this brief meeting, but Warlord Tessel and the representatives of clans Densho and Kushibashi, thank you again for joining us. And does a bow, Shadow Naito. Something has come to my attention. After the recent report that this is, again, you have to assume it's like 2 weeks or whatever in the future. After the recent report that came in from Atelia about where it was that the Broken Chain rumors have been seemingly based out of, with it being based out of Clan Theron to our south and east. It got me thinking. I know I'm new to these lands, so please bear with me and help me guide myself through this. But I'm almost positive that utilizing one's faith to stir up rumors to cause unrest inside of another clan, that's considered an act of war, or at the very least something that is frowned upon heavily by the clans to the north. Am I mistaken in this matter?
Is that true?
I'll allow all of you guys to go ahead and roll a warlords check. Knowledge warlords check.
I rolled a 2. Let's go.
You can roll for your brother as well.
I grew up. Pete said he was from the courts, so I guess I'm just gonna have to. It'll be a +6, I'm guessing.
He's not one of your +9 ones.
Well, I already had his 3, which was sense, motive, perception, and diplomacy.
Kind of makes sense, yeah.
6.
I honestly would move perception down to a 6 and make the warlords a 9. You know what I mean? Like that to me makes a bit more sense. Aaliyah, unfortunately, her knowledge warlords is literally a 1, and she can't get above a DC 10, like because she doesn't have ranks in it.
Will you allow me to retroactively change it then?
I would absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
I'll do the same then. I'm going to swap Profession Soldier with Knowledge Warlord.
Oh my god, we keep rolling so low.
All right, Nick, go ahead.
I can lock mine to get a 15.
Yeah,
It's not Profession Warlord, it's Knowledge Warlords, Nick, just to be clear, but go ahead.
Yeah.
We don't need it. Nick saves us. Nick has the good rolls.
I got to stop you from burning up all the luck before my kingdom rolls.
You're saving yourself, Nick. I see how it is. Appreciate it.
So Nick, actually, you are able to ascertain with a 26, which is a high result. You're able to recall absolutely, if this can be proven without a shadow of a doubt, you have factual evidence to prove this, which the number of broken links and whatnot that you have, the rumors, the people that you have inside prisons, the distrust and whatnot that have happened in your clan, that is a lot of evidence. The big question is, can you also discover people that aren't just from your clan? Because that'd be all too convenient. You'd have to be able to have more evidence round up from Clan Densho with the support of Clan Densho supporting this to give it even more credence. Not that one clan can't act upon their own merit or whatever alone. It's just when you have another one backing you up, this makes it so it has significantly more merit behind your claim. You know what I mean? Just even more oomph behind your claim. So you can actually take this knowledge and throw it as a kingdom check to Densho's next clan check to discover the people that were kind of like heading this up, discover the people that are willing to almost like flip on those that happens, and you could potentially open up a court situation for Clan Throne in the future. So kind of something to keep in mind. All right.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. I don't know if your characters want to chime in on this at all. Obviously, I didn't get a chance to explain that because I just kind of, it out for you. So, would your characters chime in at all or no?
It seems we might need another meeting after the last one. War might be upon our clan sooner than expected.
Well, I shall get a message to Densho Verix as soon as is possible.
Of course, Pete. And get ready for that violin.
Okay. Could you guys just remind me? I told Rena I was going to buy her those copper mugs, and what's her name? Her husband did buy them. What's his name? Sorry. Todd did buy them 2 days ago, but I didn't actually. Remind me after the session's over to send that over. I said I was going to buy them copper mugs, and so remind me because I totally will forget again. And I don't want to do that when I promised that I would.
Will do.
She drinks her Moscow mules out of trash cups, so Anyways, back to game.
Any other events to kill my nation?
Yeah.
Damn. Just the one I got to roll for, or another event?
Oh, no. One more actual other event for you. Okay. So those actually went exceedingly well for you, though.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the luck to, shoot the fan, roll one, fail.
Could you go ahead and just roll me a stability check with a let me just see something really quickly.
Stability with a what?
A stability check with a -5.
Why?
Don't worry about it.
Well, I want to kind of know. Okay, -5. Okay, well, I only fell on one still, so.
No, you fail on it too.
Oh, I luck it.
Oh.
I roll a 1 here. I don't. Okay, I pass.
Okay, leave a note that next time you're rolling a stability check with a -10. You can do it right in your area where it says events or whatever.
Wait.
Now
on my next upkeep phase?
No, your next event phase.
Okay. I had to ask that one because that changes the context.
So next up is going to be your 75% chance of there being a random event. And then we get to go over to Nick. So with your 75% chance of a random event, do you want to
LD roll and good is low, so good's 1 to 25 or whatever the numbers would be.
Anytime I hear LD, I always think he likes to LD. So
that's kind of weird, dude. What?
I mean, D100, yes.
Yes, sir.
1 to 25 is safe. Anything else is an event.
LD rolls low normally, so it should be fine.
Wow, goes low, huh?
He rolled really high.
Yep.
Should have gone for the 75 and up. I was thinking about it too.
All right, 1 second. We're going to go into the actual event phase. Do you want LD to push us through to the end, or do you want to start passing out dice to other people?
I'll pass it out. We'll do Xylemos next because
who's after Xylemos?
Then it's Ashen.
So Xylemos already rolled the 10. I assume you want them to roll a new one because they said that they rolled that before you said something.
Yeah, of course. That's how this works.
Cool.
I don't know what the 10 is.
Because the 10 was a beneficial kingdom event. So we need
you bastard.
Yeah. Ash, too soon.
God, Xylos, we need to deal 100, buddy.
Ash just got confused because Xylemos jumped the gun. And so then Ash did too. A 14.
Beneficial.
God damn it. It's still
Yes,
beneficial.
let's go.
God damn it. All right.
Go, Ash.
Now, Ash, we need one. Mind you, with Ash at 31 was an economic boom.
Oh my god.
But a 75 instead is one that you've seen before. It's a land rush.
Fuck that one. Can we reroll? Can I just get nothing? I don't want that one.
How about this? I will allow Ash to roll a d20. If it's a 1 to 10, it's the boom. If it's an 11 to 20, it's the...
Okay. I'll take it. Roll me a d20, Ash, and
Land
roll
rush
your
is
nat
great
fun.
if you have the funds to afford
Well,
it.
I could do it. No, okay. I got land rush. It's just... the only reason it was bad last time was because...
That's boom.
Oh, boom?
Yeah.
Oh.
You ready for this? You trade is booming in your kingdom. Kaboom. Probably because they heard about the big fire creature. Your treasury increases by 1d6 exploding.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Who
Hold
do I
on,
trust
hold
to
on.
roll a 6?
Who's going to roll you a 6?
Are you there, Steve?
Steve. Captain
Is
of
Steve there?
Chaos.
He's back at work.
No, he was at work. Aw, unlucky.
Who can roll a 6?
Joey, I'll let you do it because you haven't rolled for
Joey's
me.
going to roll a 5. It's going to be good.
That's
it's
fine. I'll
Viking
take 5
here.
BP.
Oh. Is Viking here? Viking always does it. This is bad. It's a 2. Oh! Who rolls again? Who rolls the second one? Who rolls the second one? Lundane, give us another 6, baby. Give us another 6.
On behalf of anything, it's a minimum 7 BP. Lundane just X5.
Oh, dude, that's 11 BP. That's more than Jake has ever had in 3 Kingdom rolls combined.
Yeah.
I'm at 38 BP right now. Oh my god, I can
Nick.
feel an army.
Did you want to take back your forgiveness of the
Oh, and my army maintenance is back to 1, so I actually have -1 consumption.
You should have constructed. So wow, that was insane. That was insane.
I'm loaded.
Wow. You ready to start building some shit?
Yeah, next kingdom roll, I'm making my army 100 strong, giving it plate mail. Like, fuck.
Also, don't forget too, you can save a reserve. You know what I mean? So like one of the things you can do is you can do this cute little thing where you do like I don't want to like ruin this here. So you almost do like a little box down here that says savings, you know, and you put over here and you have 20 sitting there and you just bring this down to 18. So you're like the fluid number you play with is that, but then you always have this amount saving in there that you choose not to ever spend.
That's
just to-
actually a good idea. To
Right?
have like every turn I save like 2 BP if I can.
Yep. I mean, that's how you do it in real life. You know what I mean? That's why you have a savings account separated from your checking account, right? So you can siphon money over there. So,
I can add a little extra box like I have with the loan, bonus BP, and expenses for saved BP.
see, Brittany and I are so terrible. What we have to do, like, or real world stuff. What we do is our savings account is actually in a separate bank from our checking account. That way we don't actively see it when we go online to like pay bills or do whatever it is. You don't look at it, and it has an auto siphon out weekly. That way you just pretend like it doesn't exist. And that way when oh shit happens, because like me having to spend $980 last week to fix my car immediately after upgrading Brittany's car, which was not expected. You have that over there that you just don't even think about. That you're like, okay, good, whew, you know. So, anyways,
Okay.
yeah. So something like that might be a good idea, you know. Cool. And you can even make it even more secretive. You can put a black box with black letters so you can't even see it until you're upgrading it, you know. All right.
So-
Anyways, you take credit for all of that, LD? Seriously?
I
Seriously?
mean, you know, he gets
Seriously?
credit. He
No,
gets credit for
no.
down the line.
Viking gets credit for all of it because Viking is the most lucky person and they're not here right now. So I give Viking credit because they're not siphoning it.
I
Vi-
agree. No, I agree with that.
Viking is the
True blue.
Neil of chat. Okay.
Okay, let's chat.
Cool. Are you done? Can Nick have his turn now?
I'm sorry. You gave me like 7 events.
Are you whining?
No.
You remember when Scott said we were going to get through 2 kingdom rolls and some content today?
We got some. No, there was a lot of RP.
There
No, he
was.
was good. It wasn't just numbers rolling.
And we got to RP with the advisors, which is important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Nick. Hey, I only took 1 luck die, so you might have some.
Yeah, way to bogart the session. Way to bogart it.
I know. That's why I said last session was the best one because I wasn't there.
Oh, that's not true. We missed you, Sal.
Aw, thank you, Nick.
You like that, like cross-eyed pug that we have to have in the room, you know?
Oh, man.
Pugs are so fucked up in every way.
Rory and I were driving behind a car the other day that had like 5 pug bumper stickers on it, and I'm just like, this person was dropped on their head many times as a baby. Like, it's one thing. It takes a special kind of person to love a pug. It takes a very special kind of person to have 5 bumper stickers of pugs on their back of their car. That is a person that needs a hug. So,
Poor pugs.
Or their kids are that ugly.
oh.
That's just mean.
They're like,
But it's
like,
Nick.
Bridget, I didn't know you owned a dog. I don't. Oh.
Oh God.
Oh, jeez.
All right. So, anyways, we're done with you for now. Yes.
No, that's it. I was just waving bye, even though I'm not leaving.
Get out. All right. So, Nick, as for your actual kingdom rolls, let's get back into bring you over here, and just for the sake of my brain stuffs, you over here, Nick. You come over here. Oh, you have 0 unrest. That's awesome. Hopefully you have a huge, because you have a 75% chance. Hopefully you get a beneficial one too. There's some pretty awesome beneficial ones, by the way, with events. Like when event is triggered, if somebody rolls something like a 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, that's like natural blessing and roll again, good weather and roll again.
Look,
Like,
I don't want to hear about the things I'm never going to see. Okay.
That's
I mean,
fair.
it's just unlikely. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's Nick.
He's not the one rolling.
Yeah, but he's like, he bleeds on it, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
And if he got
Sel has been
economic,
rolling
he'd roll 1.
exceptionally well so far.
Yeah, that's my fault. I'm bad.
Yeah, and supposedly my bad luck has bled cross campaign. So
Nick is cursed Aurorum.
I think it's funny too. 2 Winifred's wisdoms came in. One was for Sel, and the other one was for Varix.
Oh, I have
just-
another one.
Yeah. No. You already used it.
Oh.
Boy,
that's all right.
Yeah. We just know who the fan favorite is there, Varix. All right. So back.
He's had
to-
like 5. I've had 1.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't hear you. What was that? That was awfully squeaky.
Sorry, I only got a bunch of stuff when I was getting assassinated by a fire elemental. Okay, I think that's a fair time to get
Both
a
of
bunch
you
of
just
this.
rose like 7 octaves each. Are we competing to the highest pitch?
My voice is lower than or higher than all of yours, so I can go higher. Okay, you don't want to tempt me.
All right.
There's
so
nothing
anyways.
I can do, Xylobos. It's just trapped in this.
All right, back to game. Nick, you are first of all, it's your upkeep phase. My apologies. So you obviously remember where we had left off before. So go look at your kingdom. You know about obviously the crazy shit that was happening up there. I have some fun RP stuff I wanted to do for your part too. Excuse me. So with your upkeep phase, you actually don't have to roll because you have 0 unrest. But if you roll and succeed, and it's a plus 36 versus a 35, you actually increase your BP by 1. So why don't you go ahead and roll me a plus 36 versus a 35? I assume your stats are all up to date on your sheet.
Yes.
That was a whoa! That was an aggressive die roll. Typically speaking, wow, they both left you. Typically speaking, a 20 doesn't really do anything here. But in the case of this being a you have 0 unrest and you got a natty 20, I'll be so kind as to say the opposite of critical failing. You can roll 1d4 for how much BP you get for this instead of just 1. It might just be a 1, but it gives you a chance for more.
Sure.
Or you can ask somebody in chat to roll it.
Yes. Why don't we do that? LD, why don't you roll me 1d4?
It's gonna be a 1. He literally already just wrote the number 1. Like, it's going to be a 1. It's LD who always rolls bad. Oh.
Yep.
What did I say?
That's all right. That's all right. We got solidarity in the one. Okay, LD, I believe in you. We're in it. We're in it together.
What?
Just LD never disappoints. All right, so you got 1 BP, Nick, which is good. Unfortunately, your consumption this month is absolute trash. This sucks. You have to pay your consumption, which this month for you is a 10.
Oh.
That's why you really didn't want to choose LD to roll your. Hey, let's see something for a second here. Could I get Lundane to go ahead and roll me a D4 real quick, please, just for funsies? All right, so yeah, you're down to only a 2 BP, which again, this sucks horribly. Fill magic item empty slots. I don't think you have any.
No, I have a potion. No. Yeah,
you're good. Okay. Oh, the wrong area. After that is going to be you don't have any unrest to modify. Oh, okay, Lundane. Never mind. That's what I would have chosen, by the way. So I would have sucked just as badly. So yeah, have the after it's gonna be the leadership. So Nick, do you have any new peoples to put into leadership roles for yourself yet? I don't think you do. I think we still need another hype train to bring something in for you, or to find one through RP, which might happen soon. All right, cool.
Which one was the leadership macro again? Explorer Enforcer.
Oh, you don't need to roll anything for this.
Oh, good.
This is just a sign. Now, are you gonna? I assume you're not, unfortunately, claiming any hexes because you have no money.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I didn't think so. So you have 0 money, so you can't, unfortunately, claim any hexes. Oh, that's right. You need to make a Bordalo. Oh no.
Well, I have to do that and halt construction on a project,
which costs a BP. So let's look this over.
Well, you know who has lots of BP right now.
So you're not claiming, and you're not.
I'd give you a loan.
And then forgive it.
Of course.
Do
you need 5 BP?
No, I need 3.
Well, let's check something out. Well, I mean, it's up to you. Would his character immediately? Because last time you kind of had arranged it in advance that you were going to lend him money. So, because it takes time to run it over there. You know what I mean?
We had a week. We had a week between my kingdom rolls and his.
10 days.
10 days. Where he could have realized his coffer is going to go down, knowing I was going through an economic boon, could ask for aid. So, would you ask?
Definitely. I wouldn't put my people at risk.
Then you get 3 BP. Don't worry about it. Not my slave yet, okay?
Too soon. We're working through this.
Sorry, it's indentured servitude. It's legal, okay?
I need to contact some broken jam people.
Don't you already got a monastery in your kingdom?
No, he does not.
That's
actually,
Jake.
His. That's why I was actually happy that your people didn't talk to his people about that, because his event for that is this week. Because they were supposed to visit all 3 of you. I just let it be a gap of space between yours and his, because of how far it is and other things that they'd be doing in the interim. Quiet you. So moving on.
He knows what they're doing.
So quiet you. So slightly claim hexes, I imagine that's a no. Terrain improvements, Nick, I know you really have to build farms because your consumption is still a little high, but can you afford to build a farm or no?
Nope.
So you just have to suffer with it as it is, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So no farms are built, and then it's going to be next thing for you is going to be terrain improvements. Nope. So settlement improvements. So this is where we're going to go and look at what you're currently building in Shinren. So in Shinren, you owe 5 BP for your stockyard.
Yep.
And you were talking about what was the other thing you needed to do?
So I'm building that one in Shinrotar, but
and a Bordalo, whatever it's called.
Yep.
I don't my computer reset, so I have to reload those books. Give me a second.
It's 4 BP.
4 4 BP immediately, and they get 2 BP back at the end.
Yes.
So are you spending 4 BP on that one, and then you're going to where's Bordalo? Sorry. And it's done immediately, yeah. 4 BP, and you get 2 BP back afterwards. And correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, you're supposed to sorry, Bray's not working. You're to spend the 1 BP to stop the stockyard, correct?
Correct. So
So
that
that's
puts
your
me
5.
at 0, and I gain 2 at the end of.
Yes, which we'll deal with afterwards. And funny enough, your BP is currently being managed incorrectly because of like sawmills and stuff like that. Actually change how your consumption works. So that's one of the reasons why we're going to update to how Cell had adjusted the character sheets.
If you after the session, if you want to send me links to the sheets, I can just update it.
That's up to these boys. They I don't know. They might want to stick on the call for 20 minutes as you walk through it with them or whatever. That way they understands. But we'll talk about that later. So back to game. So Nick, it brings you down to exactly 0 BP because he would have brought over a gift of money, knowing that you recently had gone through a famine and whatever it was that happened on your side, or sorry, a bunch of like fairies suffering the crops, and knowing that you had just recently helped them. Like we bring out, and was this meant to be a loan, or was this a gift back to them because of the forgiven loan? Okay,
yeah,
gotcha. Cool. And we should probably put into place some degree of limitations to how much could just be swapped back and forth. Otherwise, you guys are just one massive BP pool. So I'll come up with some degree. If you guys have suggestions in chat for a fair limitation, maybe you can't BP out to the person immediately after you, but maybe somebody 2 rolls after you. That could be fair. Or 2 or more, I should say.
That's not fair. Jake never has money.
I think it would be fair if we have to do it on. You have to do it on your econ phase, so you have to communicate it beforehand, and you can only do it to like a third of your current treasury or something. So you can't
during your own event phase.
Yeah, so you can't just like you can't give them like 30 BP, right? You have to. The people wouldn't want that. You have to do within the limit of your treasury.
I would imagine it's either a treasury or grand diplomat, like 1 or 2 week task. That doesn't take any dice rolls. Technically speaking, it would be a routine dice roll or a simple dice roll. Because in theory something bad could happen. They could be attacked on the way, so on and so forth. So lending money like that would be like probably a simple check because it'd be pretty easy. Like if you rolled a 2, almost all of your characters would succeed against a simple with that, right? So that's pretty fair. Give a debuff, taking a loan of -1 stability for 1 month. Honestly, because you're withdrawing from your treasury, it could also be like a loyalty check to your own people or whatever it might be. Who knows? We can worry about that afterwards. Again, suggestions in Discord. Back to you, Nick, because we'll come up with something. It'll be written into our rules. So, sure. Back to you. So, you of course had to stave off, which cost you a BP. That sucks because you really, really fucking need that stockyard. Like 2 months was the difference of God. That sucks so bad. But it's important that you build this Bordalo for other reasons. God, I can feel it. Like this one bothers me because like, you were only 1 month away from having your goddamn stockyard and helping future. Oh well. So you're obviously not going to do anything with your army. You're not going to issue any edict changes, are you?
Nope.
I know we were talking about that recently. But expansion, you're keeping the same. Holidays, you're keeping the same. Yeah, everything's staying the same. All right, cool. Oh, did you want recruitment to stay the same, or did you want to go to standard for that one?
No, I want it to stay the same because I don't want to have to change it quickly.
That's right. I was going to say I have to wait a little bit anyways. All right, now it's finally down to your income phase. Nice and quick and easy. And your event phase is where things are going to get a little bit more fun for you. So you're not withdrawing anything from your treasury, obviously. Do you have anything of value you can deposit into your treasury to give it BP?
No, I've given pretty much all my money to other things. So
yeah. Yep, to handle issues to the north and whatnot. Yep. Mm-hmm. Cool. You're not going to sell any expensive items. Do you want to try to sell that blur potion or buy it yourself?
How much is it?
A blur potion, I think, is 300 gold pieces. But you can also make an economy check to get rid of it.
Blur is a level 2 spell, right?
Correct.
So yeah.
Yeah, why don't we try to get rid of it?
Okay. So that's a very simple thing to do. It's just an economy check. I don't think there's any modifiers to it even. Sel, do you remember the rules on that one?
I think it is just a economy check. I can look again.
Okay. He's double checking that, but Nick, why don't you go ahead and roll that economy check? It's a plus 30. Sorry, a plus 36 against a 35. Cell has a size of 16 versus Nick's 13. What's Jake's? 15. Wow, poor Nick is slagging back there. He said bad rolls. That's it. You crush that economy check, so you easily sell that off, and that earns nothing for your kingdom. It just opens up the slot for future items to be sold. So we just make it empty. Cool. So now you can potentially roll a new item in there. Yay! Moving on. All right, now you're actually going to roll for your kingdom check. I assume you want to roll your Oh man. Oh, good. That was a low roll. Now I imagine you're going to roll a luck die before you roll for economy.
Sure.
Ooh! Oh no, it was a 20. Where'd that 20 come from? Oh, it was your stability check. Oh, sorry. So I got excited because I haven't been on that tab with that screen, and so the die roll, I was like, sorry, I guess. All right, 3. So make sure when you roll your economy check, it was. Oh, sorry.
And then we're rolling tax collection, right?
Correct. It's gonna be a plus 39.
Okay, so yeah, just to make a quick note, the first item you want to get rid of in a kingdom phase, it's just the econ check. For every subsequent item, it's an econ check again, but your economy decreases by 1.
Correct. Which is why one at a time is good.
Yeah.
Terrible. Nice.
Oh no! You did that wrong. You're supposed to press
good.
the link. Remember the link that pulls. You adjust your economy with the plus 3. Honestly, if you give me 2 seconds, I should adjust that macro for in case luck die is there. So we'll roll tax collection. Let me just check this macro real quick. Plus economy, taxation, So we should also have it be 1d20 plus economy, and then we should also have it be plus what the hell is that called? If I do question mark and then say luck.
I mean, isn't it just like a spot for like an additional thing in it now anyway?
There's not a spot in there right now to roll, I don't think. Give me 1 second. I was gonna roll dent show, economy dent show, taxation minimal. Oh, that didn't work. Give me 1 second.
Oh,
how
there
does
isn't. No, you're right. You have to add it in your
I have to remember how to add this into the macro. So sorry. Where do I have an open slot? Modifier. Oh, I did curly brackets, not that's what it is. So this should fix it. Let me try this. So test macro. So Clandensho, luck 4, taxation minimal, whatever. And this shows +4. And then it divided it by, what was it? Because you see open parentheses and then open parentheses and then a third open parentheses to 18 to close plus 29 plus 4, close again, divided by 5, close again. Okay, cool. So that actually works. So Nick, you're going to go ahead and roll that macro, the test macro, and you're going to make sure you add 3 into the luck area. You'll see as you're clicking through it.
The tax collection one, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's what you want to use. And your taxes are set to normal. Watch him roll a 1. Oh no, it went better. That's good news. And I'm just gonna double check. Yep. Okay. So he's tax collection didn't show the plus.
He gets just 1 more BP. So
That's weird. Nick, try to do it. Maybe you clicked it before I saved it. Try tax collection one more time, and just do the same exact thing. Because did you see the luck option or no?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, try that one more time.
There it is. All right.
Okay.
Fuck is this? Oh, that's good.
that's so unfair to Nick.
I'll be nice. I'll let you take the 16 plus 1 more. Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry.
That would be so unfair to him.
Yeah.
He made him roll 3 times on taxes.
Because even the original roll, which is 45 divided by 3 is 15 plus, it would have been,
One.
so not much of a difference. So, anyways, yeah, so it's a 17 total, Nick. You're good. You're adding 17, so you have 17 total BP. But now it's on there for you guys for the future, so you can add your luck in. Awesome. Now, Nick, that finishes up your monies, collecting taxes. Now it's going to be your event phase. Okay. Are you ready for your event phase?
Bring it on.
First and foremost, did we add the Bordalo to your actual sheet?
Yes, I added it to Shin Rotar.
Oh, gotcha. That's right. You went over there. Oh, and you put it over next to the pier. Oh, I like that. That's cool. When a Bordalo adds 1 to economy, loyalty, and corruption and crime. Cool, as well as society, of course, because Bordalos always add to society. So first of your things that kind of pop up, because there's going to be several for you. Your Bordalos did exactly what it was supposed to do. You earned back your 2 BP. I don't know if you added that to you yet. I don't think you did.
Nope.
From just an immediate influx of a whole bunch of people that had just lost their friggin' battles, saw tons of their friends get killed or maimed in the battle that transpired, going from a very high victory to a very, very low defeat. They're looking to shed some of that coin that they earned off of you back into your own economy, which is kind of nice because considering how much you spend in gold pieces, you're earning back 2 BP. That's a net positive for you. It's called an ROI right there. Anyways, they come back in and they're just trying to drink away their failures, or also play up their successes in a brothel. So, good for you. But that's not the interesting part. The interesting part is, what ends up happening, like kind of who ends up being, discovered to be there. Let me just switch us over to our advisor, table. So anyways, at your advisor table, you actually have, what the hell is her name? It's, Shala, says, Warlord Varix, there's, that you might know, interested to know this, a good number of interesting people that have come into our lands since we built that Bordalo. It worked exactly as we had hoped. There's a good number of warriors there that are, well, let's just say, quite capable, that we've discovered. You can tell by the markings and of what they wear and so on and so forth. A couple of them are even rather noteworthy. I would like to point a couple of them out to you, but I was wondering if before we do so, if maybe you should have them looked into. I know your time is very limited. You're rather busy, and you probably don't want to go skimming through the brothel yourself, trying to find potential recruits. I was thinking maybe I could send some of my spies in there. Actually, a couple of the ladies and gents that work at the Bordalo happen to be in my employ, as you know. But maybe Karzug could take a load off. She often walks like there's a stick up her ass, and maybe she could enjoy a little R&R down there and see who she can discover. And Karzug kind of knows that Shala's joking, but doesn't appreciate the caliber of joke. Doesn't say anything, just kind of like purses the lips. And then looks over and kind of shrugs and says, Ryan certainly could use to get laid, or maybe even the treasurer can see exactly how well this is helping our kingdom. I thought it might be a good idea to see what options we have. I know, Ivan, you'd also be able to discuss value of their skill. And then she turns back to you.
We wouldn't want to task anyone with dusting off Ryan, so...
Brian does not seem very amused.
Karzug, I think we both know the whole point of building this was income and information, but was to recruit these soldiers coming from the Thunderhammers. I'm trusting you to go evaluate. And syphilis, yes, lots of syphilis.
Oh, no, wait. Syphilis is a good thing, right? That's like one of the core nutrients you need.
It's a mild megalomania, which we all could use. And that's how you become a good warlord. Just ask Napoleon. Um,
Uh,
i- is that why Eric Hoof can cure any disease? Just kidding.
it's not Eric Coop, it's actually Ryan.
It's Ryan.
Yeah. It's actually Ryan. That's funny.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, well, I'm gonna send Karzog with Shella's people to go scout out and see who we can round up. I'm obviously interested in the people who showed more loyalty to the unit than they did to the coin, but given the circumstances, for exceptional skill, we'll make the exception.
Okay. So you're gonna send Karzog in there to handle the situation. So you kind of have this advisor task. The difficulty is set by what it is you're kind of looking to get out of this one. First and foremost, this is an economy check, so no pluses, no minuses for you, which is kind of nice. What you're looking to get from there, you can try to find yourself a war person. What are they called? Commander? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, officer.
Yep, you can try to find yourself a commander. Hell, you might be able to find yourself a royal enforcer because you lost yours, which would be rather awesome. Or you could honestly just find yourself NPCs of merit that might be able to kind of stick around as like a small band of mercs, almost like a smaller version of the army that you've already shelled a bunch of money into, that can kind of stick around in the northern lands for a bit, keeping them kind of under maybe like a unit of 20 versus the 100 that you had beforehand of employ. So it's kind of what you're trying to make out of the matter, and your warlord can handle any one of those tasks. The DC, after you tell me what you want, I'll tell you the DC based off other factors.
I'm more interested in officers than I am armies. I already have a small army that I'm not utilizing in my personal followers. So
okay, cool. And so when you say officers, are you looking for like a commander of an army, or are you looking for a royal enforcer?
Probably a royal enforcer.
Okay, cool. Because you can technically do both by sending two different people. Like for instance, you can do the royal enforcer with Shala, but a commander with what's her name? But that removes them off the table for a little bit of the other tasks coming up. This task that you're going to have them do, to be clear, is a 2-week task. So this isn't anything that's crazy long. Actually, technically speaking, sorry, Shala's would be a 3-week task technically, because that's how it always is for finding a position. And Karzug for finding the commander would be a 2-week task.
I do need another commander too, so send them both.
Okay. So for Shala, finding your royal enforcer is actually defined in the Patreon sessions that we do. Sorry, the Patreon run sessions that I do sometimes every month for Adirian updates. It's based off how good of a character you want for how difficult it's going to be. I'm actually trying to find where I have that sheet. I think I have to open up a separate Roll20 for where I have that saved. So if you just give me one moment. By the way, Sal, do you pay for Roll20 or no?
Yeah, I do once a year.
You get the $100 one?
Yeah, I had a discount last time, I think.
Have you been collecting your once a month things on there?
Sometimes, if I liked it.
I mean, I collect all of them anyways, just because you never know, because I do so many campaigns, you never know what I'm going to need. But I just wanted to make sure you're aware of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got emailed about that like forever ago.
I just make sure once a month I log in and click and see what it is. Right, hold on. It's almost unloading and clicking. Now the actual thing is loading. Come on, Roll20, you can make it. As I borderline advertise for Roll20 by saying Roll20 85 times in a... Come on, you mother fluffer. You can do it. I'm literally just trying to load up the page called Dresden Events to hand out. There we go. Jesus Christ. Okay. So Nick, you're looking for an advisor. So how good of an advisor you want them to be is based off of the DC that you want to roll against. You're sending Shala to do this, who has a +6. He has no pluses or minuses for this task, because misinformation and restless don't affect this. Excuse me. My apologies. So with that being said, you have a simple task, which is a DC 8, gives you a royal enforcer with a +0. That's really not worth it because they don't give you any penalties to not have. An average task is a +1. A challenging task is a +2. A hard task, which is DC 20, is a +3. Formidable, which is DC 23, is a +5 NPC. And then imposing, which is like a massive one, is a +7 advisor that also provides +2 to stability because they have that like natural leader or whatever it is feat on them. I just looked just to be sure. Unless you have one left over from the past, which I don't think you do, you have no Winifred's Wisdom that we're giving to you today. So you're going to be rolling this without Winifred's Wisdom. You have a +6. So choose, and you do, of course, have luck. To be clear, for failing, there is no penalty. For critically failing, I mean, it just makes things awkward.
Sure.
A minor penalty.
What was the middle tier again?
So if you're looking like a +3, that's a hard, which is a DC 20.
Oof.
Anything above that's like amazing. Anything beneath that's okay. Like a +2 character, challenging, is a DC 16.
What's your loyalty looking at? Like,
Not good.
I would probably shoot for the +3 then.
Yeah, +3. That's what I'm going for. I'm gonna luck it too, so I'll roll the luck first then.
Roll
yeah.
it.
You know what's sad too? Hold on. You know what's sad too is that while I said it's a economy check for the sake of hiring the commander one, technically speaking, it's a loyalty check for these kind of events as previously defined in the other campaign that I do. So there's a -2 to this.
Wait, isn't it dependent on the? Oh, because it's royal enforcer, it's loyalty.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I follow.
That's fine. I'll roll the luck. Where's my?
Oh, you don't have to
What
roll luck. You don't roll luck first. You roll your D20
Oh,
first.
gotcha. All right.
So you're doing which one are you shooting for?
+3.
Okay, so you're going for the hard, a DC 20. Kudos.
Yeah.
All right, so this is going to be a 1d20 plus 4. Yeah, Shala doesn't give anything else in there right now. No. But did you guys, after every one of your kingdom rolls, do you go in there and adjust the number of months that your advisors have been in their position by 1? Like, Jake should definitely do that, and Tesla should definitely do that. Yeah, Jake and Tesla should definitely
Doesn't
do
it
that.
only matter after a year?
It does, but you should update each time. Realistically, 12 was when you started the campaign, was 12 months.
Yeah.
So how many months has it been since we started the campaign?
It's September, and we started in March.
So you rolled March?
Yeah, we rolled in March.
March, April, May, June, July, August. So you've rolled 6 times or 7 times?
7, I think, because
So you've done 7, they've done 6.
Yeah, Nick's on 7 right now.
Because you're number 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you increase all of yours by 7, and they should increase all of theirs by 6. And like you said, it doesn't matter until you hit 2 years. But so Nick, I can do that for you right now. I mean, obviously, if you have a new person, it's
Yeah, which would be his general, right?
Yep. Or his viceroy, really.
Yeah, because we moved 2 characters to Viceroy. I just started their months in their position over again.
Yep.
True.
Oh yeah, your Karzug. Yeah, I have it at 12 months, which is incorrect. She's been there for, that would be 5 months then. No, 4 months. 4 months.
Since 4 months.
Okay, cool. All right, Nick, you're welcome to roll with your +4 against
I
DC
did.
20. Oh, I didn't see it. I'm so sorry. I'm
That's all
wrong.
right.
I'm on the
I
wrong
critically fail.
thing. No, really?
Yeah, I rolled a 4. So
So in theory,
You can luck it to not critically fail.
you have a 25% chance of getting out of the critical fail.
Wait, does Charlotte really roll with a +4?
She rolls with a +6, but because it's a loyalty check.
Oh, you have -2 in your loyalty checks. Dang.
Yeah.
I
Nobody
can-
loves Nick enough to help him out.
That's fine.
They only
That's
love
'cause
Cecil and Varix.
They're just jealous because I'm prettier than them.
I won't argue. You could take that while I have a better kingdom.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, that's still a fail by 7 or more. So this does cause a negative.
Thanks,
Hmm?
I.
What's up?
Nothing. That almost said she tried. Or he. I don't know. They.
They. Yeah, they. Zai. Zai said.
Z.
Uh,
Z.
my job actually updated recently so that you can have like through the website or whatever that we use, which is through Salesforce because that's what most people use. Through Workday, I should say. That you can actually choose your pronouns. So it's he, him, his, she, her, hers, and them, they, theirs. I thought that was pretty cool that they actually offered that option. And then in that like update from the actual company as opposed to Workday, they actually suggested that you start tagging all of your emails with your pronouns on there. Though it's not, it was like a mild suggestion, especially because it's Pride Month or whatever. Which I thought that was pretty cool. But because of the people that I work with, we'll avoid the conversations that ensued afterwards. So,
Yeah.
Nick, so with your critical failure, unfortunately, you try to go and you try to get somebody to join the crew and so on and so forth. What it is that rumors kind of get out that, Shala is in there trying to recruit from like a bunch of like failed people, like people that just like got destroyed miserably and that are sitting around, and more or less the depiction that is being kind of like talked about is a whole bunch of like people lying around in pools of vomit and drunken stupors covered by horse. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of like what was the image that's kind of being spread in the rumor going around. This actually negatively impacts your loyalty with a permanent -1. So your loyalty goes from a 1 to a 0. That's cool. It's still a -2 for your whatchamacallits. That's good news. All right, for the other one, the one that Karzug is rolling against. This one is not anywhere near as difficult. Same general idea for what we had talked about beforehand. Kind of like what their leadership bonus is going to be. Reminds me how it is we get leadership bonus. There's ranks in profession soldier. There is a certain feats, which is skill focused profession soldier and leadership. As well as having babs of a certain degree. So realistically, a leadership bonus of say a 2 is pretty hard to get. Oh, and there's high stats too. So leadership bonus of above 2 is pretty hard to get your hands on. But we can actually roll for this pretty much the same rules that we were just talking about beforehand of how it is you're going to get there. So probably accepting an easier check, like an average check is a DC 12, and that gets you a +1 modifier character, Nick.
Yeah.
Or you can go challenging, which is DC 16. Karzug is rolling with a +3.
Let's go challenging. Why not?
So going with a 16, DC 16, when you're going with a +3. And of course, you still have luck. I wish you luck, buddy. You made it! Oh my god, you got it! Oh my god, this is amazing. This is amazing. Okay, this is wiki good news. So what ends up happening? Let's kind of like have these. Oh god. Yes, Steve, I got you. You're good. So anyways, yeah. So he you actually get it. You actually are able to get a commander. So Karzug is actually going to come and bring to you a commander to be with you for a little while. Now, one of the things that she says is that the person that's coming to work with you or whatever, they are unfortunately not going to be able to stick around for the longest period of time. Like this is a commander that's going to be able to stick around for a period of time, really whip our troop into shape. Probably have got maybe a year or so out of them before they have intentions of moving on. But it's somebody that's showed a bit of promise, if a bit strong-minded, to say the least. Anyways, without further ado, she actually will introduce you to the commander that she had in mind. For the lack of better tokens, I'm going to use this one to come and sit with you. Give me 1 second. Put you here. Put you here. Put you on the map layer. And then jump to the map layer. Grab the table and bring it to the front. And then over here. So you actually have a man was going to come in, a massive half-orc man is going to be standing there before you. She introduces to come and sit at the table and to be introduced to the different advisors. I imagine Densho Tora and Shado Shoka is going to be there as well. But when they come in to meet with you, you have this massive man carrying a giant-ass maul will come in and place a thing, clunk, onto the floor by there. And walks up and says, Karzug, turning to you, would say, Warlord Naren. Warlord Naren, may I introduce to you Barbados of the Thunderhammers. He actually happens to be one of the people that were leading them, leading one of the smaller groups amongst them in the past 2 attacks. Barbados, I introduce you to Kushibashi Naren, Warlord of Clan Kushibashi. And then, you guys can feel free to come up with full titles if you want me to list them off for you. But, Freer of da-da-da, da-da-da, Breaker of da-da-da, whatever you want. I don't mind rattling those off when needed. And so you see Barbados is sitting there, and he's like, hey.
Barbados, your unit did great job in the first assault.
He nods. He nods appreciatively, knowing how well things went, and actually pats like the base of his big ass hammer he's got with him.
It's that kind of success that we want to see when we go back to reclaim glory and fending off the northern tribes. Also, if you're not too, or if you're amenable to strolls through the forest, we'll be knocking around some Hafue and claiming some land out in Eldamar.
He laughs as you say that, and he goes, like game that we had back home, where you hit rocks with big hammers, make them go far. It was a fun game. Hafue, they're like little rocks.
I'm glad you seem enthusiastic.
He nods and he says, I'll be honest with you. One of the reasons why I liked the idea of what was being offered is because it means that I would get another whack at those what's that shit's name? Vrosk or something?
Vok,
yeah, Vok them.
Yeah. Yes. I'm very interested in all the details of that battle. What led to the outcome and how we can...
Yeah.
It was croquet knockoff.
Yeah, it was croquet. They would just take they'd kill somebody and like prop up their ass in the air, so it was like they're like slumped over, and they would just have to hit the rocks through like the slumped corpse. Anyways, go ahead.
Fucking Barbados.
Yes. So, understanding what happened and then crushing them to the north, it concerns me that our northern clansmen are aligning in an effort to undermine us southern tribes. And that's it.
Yeah, so he actually responds saying, it's a little more than that. Up there, they were waiting for us, but I noticed there was coordination like I had not seen before. The Thunderhammers, the reason why we do so good is we may be a unit 100 strong, or were, but each unit is 20 strong. We have a general idea, tactics that we have trained many times before, but each unit acts completely independently towards the major goal, and we crush them as needed. But with this, it seemed like they had similar tactic, but like they were better coordinated between them. Constant talking or what's not. I'm not sure how they did it, but they seemed to move as one. It was... All I can say is there are many left dead on that field without their coins, and I wish to pay due justice for it.
And due justice is what shall be paid. So, I don't know. He doesn't seem like he wants a bunch of pretty words. So I'll get right to the point. Do you prefer land or mounted units?
He looks down at himself and says, I'd break the bird than eat it. Because he's massive.
Huh. I could get you a boar.
Yeah, that's actually, apparently, like, the chat was talking about maybe Varric's riding boars. Where the fuck's he getting the boars from?
Well,
Lands, mate.
There's a
Oh,
whole
yeah?
Advisor
there's a whole-
tasks, buddy.
Oh, yeah, it's an advisor task to go collect boar?
You gotta get your advisor gored.
Where's it? You got, where's your clan? There you go. You have Mortifer chasing around boars. Mortifer, say, come here, piggy.
maybe
Mortifer's about to train his replacement.
Whoa.
Mortifer's got a boar calling dance. That's what it is.
Listen, I'll make border for my heir.
Look at the
It's
boars
okay.
on that one. Is that what you say?
Oh, Jesus.
All right, continue.
Yeah. No, I actually could use actually, I have a set of honor guard that could use some good training as well. Interesting. We'll get you out in the field and swinging your hammer in due time.
He nods. Before he goes, though, because I want to check something really quickly based off of your... No, that person wouldn't know. Wait, actually... Oh, fuck, I opened this the wrong way. Let me do this way instead. I want to check something based off of your advisors specifically from this conversation. Nope, not armies, advisors. Where the fuck are you? Eric Hoof.
Ooh, I like that, Snaga, yes. People can always buy Commatory. Trained Commatory are about 4,000 or 1 BP apiece. So, enjoy.
Eric Hoof got a +8. Sorry, got an 18 on his knowledge religion check. Do you care to have a bonus on that at all, or are you happy with that as it stands? Do you care to luck that, or are you happy with it as it stands? You still have
I'm
other
happy.
advisor tasks. Okay. So he doesn't chime in with anything at this point. Then I don't think it makes sense for anybody else to have any details. I'm gonna just check what one other advisor. I don't think anybody else will be able to chime in with any detail at the moment. Oh no! Oh my God! I am a dumb fluck. It depends on whether or not they have that skill. So let me actually check that for them. Sorry, everything just loads very slowly. So, do they have the skill? They don't have knowledge religion, so they can't roll. Never mind. Don't worry about it. It's all good. That's the end of that. So, Barbados nods, discusses with you kind of like payment, so on and so forth, and then is going to stand up and leave. You know, you have somebody that can kind of help you out for a good year or so. And we'll get you their character sheet or whatever you got to do later on. You can set them up later on. And so they'll end up leaving you. All right, cool. That concludes that task. It was a success. You were able to get Barbados a half-orc, a big old half-orc with a hammer. He's a pretty cool guy with an obnoxious laugh. You'll be able to have more RP with him in the future, too, for other reasons. But on to your next task, sir. So you failed the first one, unfortunately, critically. You succeeded that one. You're actually going to have a different person coming in to meet with you next. This is actually going to be a member of the Broken Chains is actually going to come to meet with you. To seek counsel from you. I don't know how much of your counsel you would have there, because more or less it's, oh, there's somebody from blah, 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 coming to talk. Would you have advisors there with you or no?
I would have Eric and probably maybe probably if I'm dealing with somebody, I would lump them both with Eric and Ryan.
Ryan there.
Yeah.
Okay, no Shala or Karzug.
I thought Karzak and Shala were busy.
Oh, yep, you are completely correct. My apologies. Yep.
Yeah.
So, that being said, do you have Densho or Shado there with you at all, or no?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys are present for this. So, the woman walks in, and neither of you have met this person before, but maybe you have heard some degree of reputation or whatever about it. They come in and they'll come in and give like a deep bow and say, female, and say, Warlord Varix, thank you for giving the opportunity for me to come and meet with you.
You already insulted me in my own home.
Oh, Jesus, sorry.
You've called him Varix like 3 times now.
Warlord Naren, thank you for giving me the opportunity to meet with you and your clan.
Yes, we'll see.
They say, I come here with a specific task, something that is mutually beneficial for both your people and mine. Something that I thought you might be appreciative of. I'm looking to build another monastery for the Broken Chain. I'm looking to do so for several reasons, but one of the most important ones is your proximity to the forests. Inside those forests, it's rumored there are many different beasts that have the ability to warp the minds and the perceptions of those around them. Not just the beasts do that there, but also many of the herbs. The Broken Chain hopes to free people's minds, to keep them open and aware of what's going on and around them. Give them the opportunity to save themselves from dangers that might approach them. I was curious if Clan Kushibashi would be willing to work with myself and mutually towards building a new monastery for people to express their faith to Vroga.
No.
Might I ask why?
We do not have a clan faith here. We don't sponsor religion.
I completely understand the not wanting to have a particular faith for your clan, and I actually respect that deeply. It makes sense that you would not want to have one particular faith to lord over any others. That is a narrow-minded approach as to how to rule a nation. It also leads to subjugation of one's peoples. But giving the opportunity to your people to be able to find their own freedoms, an opportunity to your people to free themselves of what chains may be locking them down, to better improve themselves for the future. That is what we're offering. It's a degree of schooling that you'd be able to have here that wouldn't exist otherwise.
While plans for schooling are in the works, it will not be sponsored by a particular religion or theology.
So you wish to have 0 temples, shrines, monasteries, or cathedrals built anywhere within Kushibashi?
None that are state-sponsored.
I understand. You're saying that you wish not to put income in, but if this was something to be constructed by the people, that you'd be fine with it.
Yes, if I were to sponsor it and pay for it through the people's taxes, that would be seen as me favoring or giving preferential treatment to a specific organization.
She'll actually nod, understanding that, and you can kind of see the gears turning. Before I actually roleplay something out in a second, let me just look at one character sheet real quick. Of course, the other two are going to be able to chime in a moment. Let me just allow his advisors to speak, and then you guys can, of course, chime in. All right. So, Ryan would chime in and say, as you know, faith to Varix is something that has existed deeply in Kajinxes for longer than either of us have lived here. having something like this around would not be such a bad idea. I personally support the idea of having this constructed as much as I support the idea of it not being funded by the state. He says, and then looks over at her, then looks back and says, though a little bit of funding, less than a quarter, maybe a quarter at most, funding coming from the state would show that we are willing to provide more education for the people without, say, supporting this, allowing them to front the bill or the people to do so, and us just simply putting forward towards the education. It's not the actual faith. Eric will chime in at this point and say, well, while I think it's also important for people to have many faiths, as I do myself, I am a bit wary towards the broken chain. He looks to you, Warlord, and says, I think it's no secret that while I worship many gods and goddesses, and I celebrate many holidays and faiths, some that are unique to my people, and some that are unique to Clan Kushibashi, and some that are unique to various other regions, my heart lies most deeply with... He looks to her and says, Lady Aravel. And you can see, like, she... well, is it sense motive? From anybody who wants to roll sense motive.
Yeah, I'll roll sense motive too. It's +9 for primary skill.
Correct.
Let me just double check. It is.
Wow, Tessel.
I rolled a 19.
Wow, Naren. So, Tessel and Naren can see that she, clenches up a little bit at that. And so he says, so I do agree that having more faith amongst the people would not be a bad idea. Having it in the heart of our community is probably not a good idea. A monastery built, maybe if we were to construct a faith district in our community with many shrines to many gods, then perhaps something like that would be a good idea. But in the meanwhile, having only one, and specifically to the broken chain, my faith is already a fringe here. This would potentially apply more pressure against me personally. And he looks at the warlord and says, and I do mean speaking from my heart, my own accounts, personally on this matter. As for the people, I think truly that a faith district would be a good option, but perhaps not a primary or secondary choice. And then the advisors are welcome to speak up as they like.
Ashoka has been kind of tight-lipped, glaring kind of daggers at this lady. I feel it was the best to let you know, Warlord Naren, that the Broken Chain actively work with my clan's enemy, Clan Theron.
You're gonna play your hands that you know that? Oh shit. Okay.
He's not. Listen, this guy is not tight-lipped. Okay, he's kind of mad.
Okay.
You sent me like the worst possible advisor.
I sent you someone that Tesla would send.
Fair enough.
Oh, you know.
So go ahead. I interrupted your RP.
It would not be best to work with those who oppose your ally.
What say you to this claim?
You say this to what's you call it? The cleric or priest, whatever you want to call it, that's there. Says that I openly work with your enemy. This is meant to be an accusation. The Broken Chain has no boundaries, walks no clan borders.
Yes, but there's a difference when your people sow dissent into my clan.
Excuse me.
and
I believe
cause-
the warlord has asked me to answer a question. I would appreciate it if you held your tongue for a moment so I can answer it accordingly. And then looks to the warlord for verification on that.
You're speaking to the ambassador of Clan Tessel. When he speaks for the clan.
They will nod and then look to Tessel to see look to Shoka to let them finish.
It is not your people working with Clan Theron. There's no problem with that. But actively doing sabotage, that is not merely your people being in their clan. There is no way to hide that the Broken Chain does not view Clan Shadow favorably. We're not so silly to not see you working with our enemy that has also not seen us favorably.
A lot of words. Looks over to the one who has the colors of Densho and says, gives a slight bow and says, Clan Densho fares well with the monastery we've built recently, I believe. How goes the education?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I'm based here. But we've had good dealings with the Broken Chain, and the others know our stance on such things. However, this is not our clan. The allegations that against you, as far as what's Shader? That's right,
Mm-hmm.
Clan Shader. You will have to answer them if you want anything, if you want any good graces with the warlord Naren, you should probably start with what's going on.
Nods to that one and looks back at Naren and says, do you know what the Broken Chain is? Asking. It's not meant to be condescending. It's meant to be a genuine question.
Let me check and see if I have any knowledge religion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe I do.
Do you have knowledge local? Because it could apply to that as well.
Knowledge
Also
religion
just-
would give you deeper knowledge, but
Yeah, just living in the Baron or in the Kajinxi, you should just know. I imagine.
but again, it's how deep of knowledge.
Not deep.
That's fair.
Do you have knowledge local or no?
No.
You don't even have knowledge local? Okay, cool. So then you would just know that it's a branch, kind of like how there's like Methodist and Lutheran and so on and so forth of Christianity, right? Catholic of Christianity, right? This is just a branch or a type of faith to Vroga. So anyways, you would just know that, and I don't know how you would respond to. Do you know what the Broken Chain is, Warlord?
I don't know anything about your sect.
She nods and says, we focus on freedom. Freedom of people, freedom of choice, freedom from chains that would lock one down. Shall I say that one of the greatest enemies that those that worship the Vroga through the Broken Chain is that of slavers, is that of those that would bear down on others. That being said, Broken Chain is a way of faith and has its own groups of organization. But just because one person happens to worship Vroga through the Broken Chain doesn't mean that we happen to all individually worship the same way. So that's being said, whereas one member of Broken Chain may freely live within one clan, another member of Broken Chain may freely live in another clan, while another may freely so live far to the east, to the north, to the south, to the west, in any other country that might happen to exist. So, if Clan Tessel happens to have a situation, accusations they're making against, shall we say, lying in bed with their enemies, perhaps they should look to themselves for why they have enemies in other clans and aren't doing their job of protecting the border of Paradel, instead of making accusations against people of a faith that happen to also live in that clan.
Interesting. So here's my question.
Rena! Yes, Queen.
Yas, queen.
What's this map? I don't know, Rena. What's this map? I just have one thing to say after my computer's done loading, because it seems to be very taxed today.
That bastard Tessel deserves what
The
he gets.
fuck?
That bastard Tessel deserves to die.
This is just so-
That bastard Tessel deserves what he gets. That bastard Tessel deserves to die.
I'm sorry. I just,
Turn the music up. Turn the music up. Turn the music up. Turn the music up. That bastard Tessel deserves what he gets.
sorry.
Why do you do this to me?
It is catchy.
No, but like Raymond actually did an evil act. I've done nothing wrong.
And
I'm literally getting sabotaged by an order for just saying I disagree with what they believe.
and that's exactly what an evil tyrant would say.
I'm chaotic good. I've only done good things. I've never.
Everyone thinks they're the good guy, so everyone thinks they're the good guy.
Just remember, Trump thinks he's a good guy. That's right. I just did that. I just brought you there.
Fuck off.
Okay, so now that we
I have a work of 17 sessions of Tessel doing only good actions.
I mean, were they all good?
Name one name one evil action.
You burned down a forest and all
That
these
wasn't
people.
like I didn't decide to take my lamp and set the forest on
That's
fire.
a big one. That's a
And remember
that-
how I compared you to Trump and
that was
his
a tr-
card?
That was a trump card. That was a trump card, so it literally wasn't my fault. It was a D3 and it chose me. You can't blame me.
in canon. And
Rayron more moral than Tessel?
Lundane, that's not even. You can't even. You sacrificed like 1,000 souls to devils.
It was 10,000.
Oh my.
for the greater good.
And he also
Let's
gave
continue.
Rena
Let's
certain
continue.
acts
Come
that
on.
caused certain
An
things to
axe
happen.
that sends people to hell.
Don't worry
Yeah.
about it. Don't worry about it. Let's keep going.
Oh boy. Okay, so here's where Naran's going to stand on this. Well, first of all, broken chain. Pretty words. But I'm a warlord, and my word is absolute in my lands. Are you
Shots.
eventually going to teach your people that I am a form of tyranny?
She shakes her head and says, I understand the confusion. There's a misunderstanding here. Freedom of choice doesn't mean freedom from society. We all have to live in society. And to be clear, there are those that are within the broken chain that choose not to live in society and to be free of it. They happen to be very successful living not in clans, but in the barren lands or other places, roaming about. That might happen to a few of your people. They may make that choice, but that doesn't mean they'll do so in a disruptive way where they're going to cause violence or mayhem in your home. People come and go in all nations, in all clans. That's a normal thing. These people would just do so with their own choice of faith. But what we offer to you is training to your people, training to keep their minds clear, to help perfect their bodies so that they can always have the choice of freedom and not be easily subjugated by others that would do ill will towards them.
I think in preventing organizations like yours from training the minds of my people, I am doing them a service in keeping you from subjugating them. You've been accused of a war crime. If that is found to be true, you had best not be in my lands, as Lord Tessel is an ally.
She'll actually, with this one, she'll actually chime in and say, I'd like to clarify something then. Am I personally being accused of a war crime? And she'll actually look this over at Shoka.
I cannot say you are the one directly calling the shots, but it is not so easily forgotten that the moment you left our clan, and months later, people from our neighboring clan, from the Broken Chain, start to sow dissent into our people.
I'm sorry,
So
from the moment or from months later? I just wanted to make sure the accusation is understood.
Was it 2 months? I'm trying to think out of game. I don't remember. 2 months later.
Yeah, I think it was about 2 months later.
Well,
No, because it's been 3 months for Nick. Yeah, and it started last time for you, so 2 months later, yeah.
2 months later, we had members of the Broken Chain starting to cross into our borders, go into our minds, speak to our people. They obviously have failed to convince our people of lies. Because our people know what's true in their minds and their hearts.
So again, to be clear, you're saying that some members of a faith that I happen to share with them potentially did an injustice to your clan. That's immediately all members of a clan. Of that faith.
Of course not. I do not harbor any ill will towards any individual of your faith, lest they be breaking the rules of Kajinxi.
You say any individual, but it sounds rather accusatory towards myself.
Except for yourself.
Ah.
You have disrespected my warlord, and I do not like those who disrespect him.
To which again
you
I
should fight her for the honor of your clan. Tora chimes in.
wait. I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
1v1
She
duel.
addresses Shada and what's his name?
Shoka.
Shoka.
It's on the
Shoka,
screen. Yeah.
and says maybe you should fight her for the honor of your clan.
I would be willing to fight for the honor of my clan, as any member of their clan should be willing.
I am always willing to defend myself for my own freedoms, and freedom of accusation happens to be one of those things. I do warn you, I do not have a position where I sit in a comfortable chair around a comfortable table having comfortable
Do not pretend to know my life.
She looks you over and says, "How many miles have you walked this year?"
Uncountable. Before I came here, I worked in the mountains in the east of Clan Shado. Do you think that is easy terrain to live in? Walk in? So do not pretend to know my life.
And how sweet does the air of the Barren Lands taste when you're on its southern borders?
He doesn't even. I don't even get what you mean by that. Out of game, I'm confused.
Have you traveled that far south?
I have no need to go to the Barren Lands. That is not where my domain was.
Have you sweat during the cool evenings in the lands to the north?
Have I need to? I sweat in the mountains.
Have you had to defend yourself against the great beasts that fly overhead in the lands to the west?
I would have heard of the rocks, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah, from here, yeah.
Yes, the rock. The rocks of the west or east. Wait, west. You're talking about what, right?
She says, "I'm not trying to be a braggart. I'm just trying to let you understand. If you challenge me, you will be making the challenge, and I will be accepting."
Trying to think.
Mortal Kombat.
She does-
Tora stands up.
Chick's like, I want to do an advisor in here. Let's shake things up.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think, like, what. I mean, yeah, he would. Well, no. Why? Are you calling me a liar and these accusations untrue?
She looks to you and said, "I had no hand in anything that you were accusing me of, and I do not appreciate the accusations, and I am more than willing to maintain freedom of such of this reputation looking to put upon my shoulders."
So be it. But those words will haunt you if it's found otherwise.
She nods and says, "I understand."
Warlord and RM. Shall we make room?
Push this table to the side.
I imagine these advisors aren't like they're not particularly good fighters.
She's a boss, my dude.
Like she'd fuck him up, which is why he's being more reserved, because you know what's worse than challenging someone to fight of honor, losing that fight. It's pretty bad.
I mean, don't you like it would make things interesting. Like it makes for good RP. But what I would suggest is that's not a fight we do tonight. That's a fight that we actually will do next session. That gives you time to get your character sheet properly statted out. For the
Sure.
Fight.
Yeah.
We should actually make character sheets for these people.
That's up to you guys. I can give you guys character sheets so you can make them. That's not an issue.
Yeah.
But what I would say is that actually it's actually kind of cool because it helps to showcase exactly what it is that they're teaching in Densho, because that's actually a factor that comes in soon. So I think that's it's a cool opportunity. Chat, what do you think? Should we have a fight next week? Come on,
okay.
Fine.
We do it.
What
level is this character before I can
before I commit, just give me the stats,
I need to know what level he is.
What CR are we talking about, all right?
Wow.
Listen, if I like level 3, there's like
that bastard Shoka deserves what he gets. That bastard Shoka deserves to die.
So yeah, I guess that's happening next week. My God, I'm fucking dead, dude.
Tora, she was all for it.
But I think Shoka is like a young human, so he's also like a passionate member of the Order of Tanzo. So this is just not a good situation, and as young people he got goaded into this fight that he's probably gonna die in.
For your advisors, I imagine you guys are, because you have +9s or whatever from like whatever's here and there. Because it's supposed to be like an esoteric, I don't know. But I imagine you guys like 3rd level aristocrats is what makes sense, because aristocrat actually gives you full attack. Like you have a proficiency with a bunch of weapons and armor, and you have a decent bab. So like level 3 aristocrats is kind of how I saw these characters as being. You know what I mean? For the sake of statting them out. But either way, so we're gonna have to kind of put a pause on this situation to handle that next week. Nick, it's already 1:10 in the morning. You still have technically 2 more events plus the random one. Would you like to finish those up next week?
Yes.
Okay. So you have 2 more events plus the random one left to do. So we'll do those next week because it's
2 more
very
events.
Late. Yeah. Yep. Well, 2 events were recruiting from the people because of Bordalo, right? And then 1 event was this, which was put off for you by months because it went to the other 2 first. And then you have 2 actual events and then your random one. So 6 total for you.
Why are you smiling about those 2 actual events?
So anyways, who wants to sell? Have you been streaming anything exciting lately?
No, I've been kind of lazy, sleeping a lot. Summer vacation. Be like that. I might stream tomorrow.
That's cool.
Might do some world building. It's kind of, I got to get into the groove of it.
Is this continue to build for Shadow?
No, just some like personal homebrew I like to build. It's fun to build worlds.
Okay. Are you doing multiple things or are you focusing on one world?
One world. I think I've just finished a map, so it's pretty cool.
Map is so tedious, but it can be so rewarding. It's so fucking tedious, but it can be so rewarding. Jake, you want to say anything about Inclame?
Yeah, Inclame on Wednesday, Scott's decided to have us come to the Barrenlands for some weird reason that I cannot fathom.
I can fathom.
Don't worry about it. Okay. So, and then there's the we gotta get the podcast. We gotta get one of you on there, Jake, because you've been on there once before, right?
No, I was supposed to be, but
Oh, that's right. We gotta get one with you on there. You gotta get on the podcast, Jake. I want to actually hear how you bounce off the 2 of them. You know what I mean? Of course, it might be just like 5 sentences the entire 2-hour podcast, but
then just
thanks.
That's it. Okay, cool. Awesome. Cool. Nick, I'm going to suggest that after this podcast comes out, which is probably on Saturday, because usually that's when Vince actually gets it on Saturday or Sunday. At the very least, the portion that covers this, because you know they're going to talk about this upcoming situation.
I always listen to the Monger section of the podcast. So.
Oh, do you? Oh, you know that?
Of course.
Is it funny? I won't
It
lie.
is.
I feel like they always bring significantly more vigor for the Regicide. Like I feel like I'm calling them out here. I feel like Regicide is their favorite campaign and has been for a long time.
Because
like
Steve is chaos.
I feel like that's a truth for both of them. So I'm gonna call out both Vince Exel and Steve for that. So but anyways, Nick did not decide what his decision is. Snaga, he wouldn't decide the decision until afterwards.
No.
Request?
I'll tell you right. I already decided this woman's out. She was never going to get a place, but now it's either she kills my advisor and gives me a reason to kick her out, or I'll come up with other, basically some contrived reason, or she'll be paying for a shrine that's dedicated to every deity. But no matter what happens, she is not getting her way, and her people will not be staying in my clan.
You don't want to No. She. It's not her people. It's one leader or two leaders in the monastery. Do you know what a monastery offers to the clan?
Don't care.
Do you even know what it delivers?
Yes, Nick. Solidarity.
Do you even know what
For
it is?
different reasons.
A monastery offers +1 stability, +1 lore, and +1 law. It's a 2 law item that costs 16 BP.
That's nice. I'm not paying for it.
No, they pay for at least half of it.
I just had to beg and scrape for 2 or 3 BB. Not happening. Yeah, either way, not happening.
All right. So either way, cool. Well, we'll see how next week plays out because that's going to be very interesting. Jake, you might be all alone in that fortune's favor. The little Tesla turned an FF into a TC.
Yeah, that happens when you bring a religious nut to like
a religious
place.
nut. Yep. Okay. So, anyways, Nick, anything you want to say before we go?
Who's ready to watch Cell's ambassador get murdered next?
Yeah, I'll just make another one. It's fine.
Yeah, the big thing, if you're challenged into combat, that means to the death there's no honor in killing your opponent. If they choose to show mercy, that is entirely on them. But they could also choose to free you of your mortal coil.
Imagine if I win.
You know what? You know how my die rolls have been lately.
Dude.
Like, she could just be the big baby.
Dude, that'd be so good, though, wouldn't it? If Shoko kills this lady?
That'd be pretty funny. Okay. Why don't we go and say hi to Ty? Let's see. What should a raid message to Tyler be? Kick the baby. The raid message should be kick the baby because of the combat they just did this past Friday where they fucking pwned me left and right. So everybody, if you could just show in with the raid message, kick the baby, I would appreciate that. All right. Thank you all so much. I'll see you with these today. I'll see you Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. EST, right here, right now. Bye.